Okay.
I will start by saying, though, Jacob, thank you for the lurk, and Mark, thank you for the 7 months on a 1-month streak. Hell yeah, man. It feels like I've known Mark a lot less than 7 months. Well, it's obviously longer because it's not streaked, but yeah, it feels like I've only known you for like 3 or 4 months. But either way, tonight is episode 50. A half a century of episodes this campaign has gone on, guys. Well, technically 51 if you count session 0, but you know, we don't count session 0.
And 52 if you count the one that we missed.
Oh yeah, because there's a missing episode somewhere. Is that what you're on about?
I think there was the one episode that was so good it was numbered twice.
I fixed it, Michael.
Did you?
Oh, and don't forget the half episodes.
Fuck off, guys! Tonight is episode 50.
Okay, it's 50.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Last session, you guys met up with an old charge, an old flame, as you will. Pardon the pun. The Wildfire Leonin, if not slightly different. One Dr. Argyle. You spoke with him, you met with him. You met with some of his people he's paid to do work for. I was going to say employees, but that's not how it... Contractors. We'll go with contractors. It's probably the best way I can describe them. About getting into the facility of the... You guys have called them numbers. To potentially retrieve Clarissa, amongst other things. It didn't go entirely according to plan. You guys couldn't act as quickly as you wanted. You've got to wait 2 weeks was the quota time, and Argyle was not happy, but unfortunately when your nuts are in the vice, you've got nothing to do but say yes. So 2 weeks is going to be the destinational aim for you guys, where you will be going into the facility, but until then, I believe the plans are to wrap up a few loose ends that are in the northern sector of the country. Specifically, tonight, I believe we're going to be looking into Greytail. Or is it Francisco?
Greytail for now.
It's Greytail for now. We like that.
See what happens.
We like
It's a
that.
fantastic ale.
But at the minute, though, before we get to that point, with the exception of Evan, because obviously you walked Argyle back, in the underbelly of the market, in the black market, the rest of the party are doing some shopping, I believe. Let's start just as the list I've got. So, Boomer. Is there anything in particular that you are looking for?
Any firearms or explosives?
Guns or grenades?
I mean, that
Yeah.
makes more than enough
I
sense.
do have the DMG guide open with this little list anyway.
That's fine by me. Make an investigation check.
It is the black
We are in the
market.
black market.
Yeah.
Like, if it was anywhere, it'd be here.
Ooh, damn. Love, let me put the cat cam on for you. There you go. Wait, that's not the...
Okay.
That's not the cat cam.
That's a
just-
people!
You got Dancer 189 on top of the monitor.
On top of my, yeah. It's,
Ah, nice.
I had it printed out in the Twitch font. It was off Etsy.
Oh, nice.
I think it was like 15 quid to have done. It's 3D print. It's cool as shit.
Looks impressive.
Yeah. But, taking a look around, you don't find any guns. That's I'm just gonna put that to bed. The fact is there is no one here with the expertise or the ability to smuggle in such items.
No, that's fair.
But if your intention is obviously to make firearms, you do find black powder. You could procure yourself a good chunk of black powder for the means of creation of ammo going forward.
Hmm.
That would run you... I'm just going to do it on a per bullet basis, like a per shot basis. It's going to be about gold a shot of black powder.
Yeah.
So procure yourself as many... So it's 1 gold per 1 bullet's worth of black powder, but you still have to make it.
How much gunpowder do they actually have?
Let's have a look, actually. Has enough for 30 shots, if you take the lot.
That'll do.
So that'll be 30 gold for yourself, black powder. Because the thing is, things like metal and other pieces that you are going to be in need of is more than readily available outside of this area, but the black powder was a little more specialized.
Yeah.
One other
This
thing
does-
you do spot is that there is a seller selling dynamite.
Now you're talking.
Thought I would. Now, just give me a sec to pull up the cost of, but they have 4 sticks of it, and this is the same seller with the black powder. And you could procure yourself those dynamite for... Where the fuck is it?
You know, that's the 268.
Hmm?
The page number.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. But it does have a cost, though.
Oh, you're on about the DMG, and you... I thought it was in the
Yep.
place
Yeah.
handbook.
No.
Nah.
I was say 268 is spells. I was like, you sir are full of shit.
I had to buy this specifically for this.
You bought the book for guns.
He literally did, yeah. Okay. We'll say that a stick of dynamite will run you 2 gold a stick.
So I'll get...
And there's 4
Ten.
sticks available.
I'll have more then.
Yep, so that would be 12 gold.
Yep. That is 42 gold.
Okay. Is there anything else you're looking for besides things that go boom in the night and possibly in the day too?
More than likely throughout the day. So what was that? 42 gold.
Yes, because he's bought
Yeah.
30 shots worth of black powder and all 4. So basically, you've cleaned this one guy out.
So the answer to all our problems, he has purchased.
Almost entirely, yeah. And the seller will go to stranger. Huh?
42, Danny.
What about it?
The answer to life, the universe, and everything
Oh yeah.
is explosives.
Oh,
Is,
I thought you meant like you needed dynamite or something. I missed the joke. My bad. But he'll start like talking to you as you like paying for things. Stranger, seems you're interested in a few specialist equipment.
Indeed, I am.
Well, is there anything else that I could interest you with? I don't have much left now, but if you can bring me some interesting ideas, I'll sort you out.
Ooh. I don't suppose you have any somatic. I know I've already got some to off mag off. Did I?
Yeah, you got a pepper box
For what?
schematic.
Yeah, I'm using the thingy.
That's very strange. She didn't say Magog. Sorry.
I'm taking out a character just.
It's just
I shall definitely keep this in mind.
Well, you know where to find me. And if you happen to come across any jewels in particular, I'll do a trade for you.
What other types of inventory do you normally get?
Weapons, mostly. But I have recently been investing into these powders you have bought me out of, siphoning the supplies of different crafters.
Ooh. That includes potential firearms.
Stranger,
I don't know.
stranger. Now those are weapons. But I have been yet to see one myself. But when I do, I intend to.
Mm.
So,
I shall.
if you ever get your hands on one, I'll buy it at a high price.
Indeed, you will.
Danny's been practicing and saving that one for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I appreciate every word.
I'm going to say both him and Matt are going to be appreciative.
See, I was internally cringing.
Oh, fuck you.
No, not at you, at Adam.
Oh, okay.
Yes, was like, oh, dude, stop it.
So,
I looking back to it.
our
Okay,
business
so
is
yeah.
concluded.
Indeed. Until we meet again.
Please do come back anytime.
Oh, I will be back.
And is there
You
any...
just see a smirk on Boomer's face when he walks off.
Is there anything else? I would say that probably took you a good 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would be interested in looking for? Anywhere else that your coin feels a burden?
Just a couple of spell components for the arcane lock spell.
That's absolutely fine. I would say you're more than able to get them. It's gold dust, if I remember right. Or is it something else, the arcane lock?
Just quickly check.
While you have a look at that up, and then let me know, and I'll tell you in case there's a cost difference. Because some things are cheaper, expensive in here. Dear, are we looking for
Hello.
shiny things or anything special?
Something a little bit magic.
Oh, okay. What sort of enchantments are we looking for? Or just
something that could-
anything magic?
Something that could make ice. Actually,
You found it. It's Vianne. She can make ice.
Yeah.
You are
I was being always
Vianne
very
is
poor at the moment.
Vianne is fucking magical.
Yeah, I'm very poor at the moment. I only got 15 gold.
Yeah, I will be honest. About the closest you'll be able to get is like a magical trinket that probably blows like the gentlest gust of wind. It's like intended to keep someone cool in the summer.
Yeah, that'd be no good for me.
No, so unfortunate.
Yeah, you do know that half the party uses ice magic quite frequently, right? You would have seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Okay.
You can as well. You can make a hailstorm voice. You only want a little bit of voice.
Okay. Also, just so everyone knows, we haven't split up the gold yet from the last one. I remember putting it into my bag, so it hasn't been divvied out yet.
Yeah, from Dunvast, yeah.
Yeah, it will be divvied out as soon as we get to somewhere where we can sit down and divvy it out. But
That's
doing it in
fine.
the middle of a market, that's stupid.
No, just go all out in the middle of the black market.
Greytail. You, sir.
Yeah, I'm just wandering around with the group. I'm not really looking for anything.
No, okay, that's
particularly
yeah. Just traveling with, being social, probably like looking at the various things like window shopping.
Yeah, making sure I don't get me bag of holding stolen.
Fair enough.
Primarily.
That is it's a fair risk. Helra.
Yes, I have two things I'm looking for. If that's okay with everybody, I'll be as quick as possibly.
Two things.
I'm
Fuck
looking-
me, you greedy.
I know poisons, and I'm also looking for like protection
Rose,
items.
I believe we already
Yes?
have split the money.
No, we haven't.
No.
400
It
platinum and
was literally
500
put
gold.
straight into the... Yeah, no, I've given the split out for when it happens. We haven't divvied it out yet, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
good.
add any golds to my sheet because she didn't
Oh,
say
yeah.
to.
Okay. I got the understanding we have because I think I've already divvied to everyone's sheets that.
Oops.
Well, you
You
haven't
haven't
done it yet.
personally.
No, not the sheets, but I've divvied out in my notes the money.
Oh
How
yeah,
much-
yeah, we're all
how
part
much-
of the split. We just haven't done it yet.
How much have I got according to you then? See if I've put mine. I can't remember.
I've got you at 97 platinum, 95 gold, 111 silver, and 56 copper.
In that
I
case,
have
I have.
37
Hold
gold.
on, Liam. I'm speaking. Jesus, calm down. So no, I haven't got that then because I haven't put that on mine.
We've not
Yeah.
split it out yet.
I
Okay.
definitely haven't got it yet.
You lying, Liam?
No, I've got 37 gold.
Okay, Liam.
He literally just said he had
And
no
most of
gold.
that's in silver.
Helra, can you make an investigation check?
Yeah, so poisons and
Protection
also
magics.
magics. A what check?
Investigation, because this is like you going around looking through the stalls. Because it is a very... While it is an open market, it is not easy to navigate and find everything you need.
Ooh,
Okay.
buddy.
I would say
Yeah.
the first thing you do spot is you do find a vendor that is selling toxins, poisons, and other venoms that have been harvested from various creatures and constructed with various chemicals. They are slightly cheaper than you would have expected. And
No, I'm kind of looking for one specific poison. Sorry, I should go into detail. I'm looking for truth serum, if I can find it.
you would not be able to. This is... The stall you have managed to find is more basic poisons and toxins, but of varying strength. And if it's of interest, although it's not truth serum, you would be able to procure them for 50 gold a vial.
Nah, I'm looking specifically for that kind of stuff. So,
No, that's absolutely fine, yeah.
yeah, it's not really in. Hera wouldn't use poison, she's just going to smack him in the face. Do you know what I mean? She really wanted to get invoked, but she was trying to help out people by getting some true serum, but that's fine. Can I find protection magics? Or projection magics. Either or's fine.
I believe we can do such a thing. Projection magics is a little...
It's illusion magics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to say
I know.
protection, it came out weird, so well, I'll go with it.
Let's have a look. Actually.
Armor, shields, jewelry, that kind of stuff, really. If anything goes or looks relevant to me.
One thing you do find is it's not necessarily protection as in the inability to be hit, sort of, but it's the ability to mitigate damage when hit. You find a vendor that explains that there's this pendant that protects from mortal and grave injury in the heat of combat. Mechanically speaking, you gain advantage on injury table rolls, sorry.
Hmm.
We already have that item.
Yeah, I think there's
It was in the party. That someone
But then-
fucked off with it.
Okay.
You are right, but too late.
I'm about to say, I know we had. the
Layla
item,
had
I
it.
couldn't remember. Yeah, I couldn't remember what had happened. I couldn't remember.
It
if
is
Layla-
the pendant of Iron Will. It
Yeah.
grants advantage on injury table rolls. It does require attunement.
Yeah, no. I'm not really fussed about injuries, to be quite honest. I'm looking,
You
It's
will be
not
when
really
you roll
for-
a 1.
which is fine, and then my character will die, ready in time for Cass to come back, and I won't have to play 2 characters. So, like, I'm obviously joking, but it's yeah.
Okay.
To burn attunement slot for something like that isn't for me.
The
Sorry.
only other thing you do manage to find, and the problem is for some reason, vendors aren't opening up to you as much as they are to other people, and for whatever reason, you don't know. But the other thing you do find is you find a brooch that is, it's oval shaped, and it looks like silver threads that have been woven into this like weave. So it's like a metallic cross weave, and in the center there's a small pearl that is fractured and seems to emit a static electricity when you touch it, and it kind of makes like the hairs like on your back of your neck stand up and stuff.
Okay.
Danny,
In a minute.
hold on. This could help.
Okay.
So, as you're saying that the vendor's not opening up to her, what about if I start speaking some thieves' cant and say, look, is there anything under the table that you could help us out
It is way too late for that.
with? Oh, right, okay.
The roll
Right.
was made way long ago. If you'd have offered any assistance, if like when like the it's like when she rolled and it looked a bit bad,
Yeah.
if you'd have offered like, okay, she looks like she's struggling a little bit, I'll help, then maybe, but I think it's a little too late,
Okay,
honestly.
that's fine.
Appreciated and good thought, but
That makes sense. I've probably thrown up some of them against the wall trying to get in for the shout.
that's kind of probably an assumption that you could make. That probably some of
Yeah.
them recognise you, and considering you're a white collar merc and not a black collar one, as it were. But this brooch, it's static to the touch, and the lady that's selling it explains that forces of nature and people that have the ability to cast electrical magics, this can dampen the effects and ground you a little bit, giving you resistance to lightning damage.
That's I forgot character voice for this one. Sorry. Well, how much?
Well, it's a pretty useful item. I would say, looking at you, 4,000.
It might be a useful item, but only if you can sell it.
Why? What are you thinking?
3-5.
Is there anything on your person, Hera, that's outwardly noticeable, like apart from the main weapons and armors that you wear?
She does have a cloak of protection on, a haversack. She has her weapons, her armor, her. She also has her ring, but it doesn't look like a ring. It looks like a knot of hair and twisted like stuff. So I don't know whether she'd be able to tell that that's actually a magic item.
Yeah.
Or something of magic. I have a flute. Oh, I also have. I do clink a little because no, those are in my bag. I mean,
it was just more a case of in case she'd have noticed anything to maybe add to the barter. That was all. But I don't think none of that would have stood out to her to a point, because she's not going to purposely take your obvious weapon that you use. Do you know what I mean?
Does she want something? Does she ask me about sweetening the deal?
Well, I'll take 3-5 if you want to throw in something.
Well,
and I take all forms of barter, and that includes information, if you have any useful ones.
Well, I was sorry, that's stressed. Well, I was thinking more of a potion of sorts.
What's to do? She's immediately interested.
Well, I'll kind of like go into my haversack and pull out one of the vials of rogue's bladder. Basically, like, it means that somebody is completely rendered incapacitated through the fact that everything inside their body begins to leave violently.
I'm aware of this. It's fun. It's useful. 3-5. The vial. And she'll slide the brooch over. I think I can live with that.
Excellent. Done deal. I will give her 200 platinum and 1,500 gold.
Excellent.
Which is right.
And yeah, and so essentially, it's a ring of resistance for lightning. It's just flavored as this. It's a silver brooch with a lightning cracked pearl in the center.
Oh yeah, getting lightning resistance will be
Pretty good.
ace. Yeah, for 3,500. Well, it would have been good for 4,000.
Yeah, it was slightly cheaper anyway. Like you find that there are certain things in this place that are just impossible to find because there's no point in them selling apples here when you can get apples upstairs. But the things that they do sell down here tend to be a little cheaper because, you know, they want to get rid of them quicker.
Thank you. And if you do have information sometimes, I can always use an informant, and I don't have them currently in this city.
I know people.
It's technically, it's an urban bounty hunter feature. Can I use this to establish an informant? Thank you.
Well, I'd like just let me finish the sentence, and you'll be quite happy with what I was about to say, Rose.
Which was probably yes.
I know a few people, as long as you make it worth it for me as well. I can't see why we can't establish some agreement. And she'll reach out a hand. And you...
Or money.
No. It's a shake.
Yeah, Howard says. She doesn't get... No, I will shake her hand. And she feels it is bitter, icy cold. Like, too cold to be. And she's going to give it a shake and be good. I look forward to working with you.
Likewise. The name's Jess. Ask for me if you need me.
Jess.
You get an almost exact feeling that it's not probably her actual name, but more just a go by sort of thing.
Completely fine. I am Helra.
Pleasure to meet you, Helra.
Me too. I'm gonna go find my friends before they get stabbed. Thank you.
Boomer, did you find the arcane lock material?
Yeah, it's 25 gold.
Of...
What was it just now? It's alright, I did. I think.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you've had ages to find it, bro!
I did, and then my buddy was looking at something else at the same time.
Time to find it in 5 seconds.
No, I've got it.
What is it?
Gold dust.
It was gold dust, I was right.
Yeah.
I will say, given where you are, you would probably be able to get 25 gold's worth of gold dust for 15.
Ooh.
So, although you're only
Probably
paying...
buying fenced items.
That's essentially the thing, yeah. But yeah, so you're able to get it for 15 gold. The only reason you guys managed to get in here is because you had someone who got you access. You wouldn't have access to this place normally. So it makes sense. But moving on, Viat. Are you looking for anything in particular? Or are you doing the same as Greytail and just window shopping?
I am at the very least interested if I see any exotic beasts while we're browsing.
So you're looking for potential animal companions?
To an extent.
Okay. Make me a... Yeah, maybe an investigation check. And
yeah.
We'll see how you get on.
Given Vianne's family history, would she have any experience with these types of markets herself? I feel like that's a borderline yes-no, so I'm asking you.
Your family, yes. You, no.
That's about what I figured.
you would have probably have most likely have been sheltered from
Yeah.
these sites as much. I think the closest you ever got was the auctions.
Yeah. Have a 4.
I love the idea of, oh no, we can't trust you at all at a black market, but the slave trade it. Yeah, no, please come to the slave trade.
Well, because those are more like, showcases and social interactions, so to speak.
She was used as a tool there, you've got to remember
Yeah.
as well.
I know, but it's
Yeah.
we can't
Yeah.
we can't take her to the black market, it might spoil her, but we can take her to the slave market, that's perfectly fine.
Well, people are a thing.
I
One
know.
thing you
True,
do
yeah.
find, you actually find a vendor that's selling mostly weapons, but then you spot at the end of the table that there's a bird's cage with a green and red cockatiel,
That's kind of random.
and it's got a small bit of string with a bit of paper on it, marked as it's marked for 500 gold.
It's a little excessive.
And as I'd imagine you stop to kind of
Yeah.
like poke a look at it.
Just trying to figure out why a bird would be 500 gold, like even with exotic taxes and stuff. Being just kind of staring at it in confusion.
It kind of, and the merchant will come and put his hand on the top of the cage and just be like, "Interested in Damien here?"
A little curious, yeah, definitely.
How so?
Is it from a far off land? Is it just
Well, not
typical price of goods? I'm a little.
not terribly far. The only reason why he's that price, and he'll kind of just pat the cage with like a little ting. Damien, tell her why you're so valuable. And then he will respond with, "Worth a lot of money. Trained to speak."
Oh yeah, I learned that trick. It's a pretty good trick. I was gonna try and teach an animal that one myself.
He's usually not the best, but with a bit of extra training, you can learn a few more than just a few standard phrases we've managed to implant on him.
Oh, the few standard. Oh,
You can train it to say stuff with mimicry, and then you can fuck it off somewhere and pass messages.
oh no, I totally follow that. Just Vienne was looking for a target to use Awaken on, which just teaches the animal self in entirely.
It's okay.
So he sat there like, oh man, 500 gold, and this bird could say 3 sentences, and Vienne's like 1,000 gold, and I could just like
You can
make
learn
it
it
have a
forever.
language. But okay.
Oh no, it's more than just
Yeah.
about 3 sentences
Oh
or
yeah,
so.
no, it's trained for other purposes. I follow.
I think we've managed to train it to do 1,000 different words or so.
That is really interesting. Like that must have taken a lot of work.
I didn't do it, but the person I got it off did. And unfortunately, they fell ill and can't train anymore, so this is the last one that he managed to do.
Do you use that for running your business, or is it just a side for sale auction, or just because based on the rest of your inventory and stuff?
Well, the thing was, the plan was to use it for myself anyway, but change of business plans and stuff, I don't exactly have any need for it, so Damien here can go and find somewhere else to be, where he's useful.
And given the nature of your forge here, do you also enhance, or is it just crafted by hand?
No, he's
or
not. That's probably
Yeah.
my bad explanation. He's not like a blacksmith. He's just selling weapons. He doesn't
Okay.
make them.
Well,
So what it is?
Vienne
It's,
still just sees a variety.
oh
of
yeah.
weapons
No,
and
no. I could certainly get something enhanced. Depends on what you're looking for, though.
Well, I was hoping to get my blade a little bit nicerly polished, and it's pretty well balanced to me, but it would still be nice if you could cut through stuff a little bit better. Fought these mean scaly things earlier, and I just wanted to make sure it was going through good.
Right. Well, believe, and he'll pull out a small book and just like look through. Could get it looked at and rebalanced and sharpened for probably 200.
Would that take too terribly long? I don't know if the rest of everyone's got all day to wait around. And
It would take a few hours at minimum, yeah.
party, do we have a few hours?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll think on it and
Yeah.
come back later, depending on how long their stuff takes. Thanks for the information, though.
What is
Alright.
it that you want? Yeah.
Oh, just those things the mountains earlier with the big froggy things. I just wanted to make sure this blade was good at like cutting through stuff like that, because it's mostly been decorative.
Can I have a look? It's just a blade. Does it look like it's sufficient enough?
It is.
As a
It is standard issue. It
It's
is
very exquisitely made for her, but it's
I was going to
not-
say, it's extremely decorative, but peel back the layers of paint and you will find it is nothing more than standard issue.
it is
But
a
it
blade.
is still sharp enough to use.
It's perfectly
Yeah.
sharp, but
Cough, cough. Some creatures are resistant to non-magic weapons. Cough, cough.
Yeah.
I get where you're going now. Okay.
I was going to say, even standard issue sometimes just doesn't cut it, and you guys are more than adequately aware of magical enchantments, enhancements, and all different manner of things.
I mean, if you want to wait around, we could wait for a couple of hours. I do think Evan might be getting a little touchy, though, eventually.
Yeah, we should probably go just meet up with him. Maybe if we're still in town later, I'll drop it off.
Are there any magical items here that you can maybe buy, like a little dagger, just to keep you going?
Ian kind of looks back over and just kind of like leans to peek around.
There are a number of weapons. None of them are labeled as, like, magical. It's all just prices. You make a perception check.
Can I help?
Fantastic.
Because obviously,
Mhm.
could I have helped her?
Yeah.
Because I'm literally stuck with her at this point to give her advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's telling Vian which ones are the actual good ones, and
That shit.
You do
Ignore that.
notice one of the daggers is in a bandolier, like on its own, and then the bandelier's wrapped around the blade, kind of like knotting the blade up as much as it can, and that one seems to be much more expensive than all the other weapons at the table. Just odd in presentation as well.
that's an odd one. There, like, does it need the whole case and everything?
Ooh, the bandolier is just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. It tends to, whoever's wearing the bandolier at least, can command it to move about freely. Out of character, you can make an attack action with the dagger, but have the dagger be anywhere up to 60 foot away from you, and make a standard melee attack action through the dagger. So you don't necessarily have to be in close range yourself.
It's a melee stab from range.
Exactly. Up to 60 foot, which is the max range in which the dagger could be thrown, because it's 30-60, isn't it?
Something like that.
So 60 foot is the maximum range, and you spend an attack action, and the dagger can go and make a melee attack where you command it within that range.
That sounds very cool for potentially somebody else in the party.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
very cool.
we wrapped the bandolier around it just to make sure, because we had one incident where someone was able to command it without wearing the bandolier. So keep it wrapped up just in case. But so long as someone's wearing it, no one can do that. It was just while it was on the table. It is an attunement item, I will warn as well to the party.
Taylor, were you gonna?
I was
Comment?
just going to say, is it also magical? As in, Danny, is it magical? Or
It's
does it give it-
entirely fucking magical.
Yes, it's magic damage. Yes.
It would count as a magical weapon.
Yeah.
Do you have anything on the more convenient end, that would just, in case we fought, say, a dragon the size of this establishment, just something. I don't need anything overly complicated. Just something, just in case of emergency.
That is what the fucking dagger is, right? Like,
Well, yeah, but the flying around and stuff, like.
well, you need to. It can be up to 60 feet away. That doesn't mean it can be just across land. It can also go up, I assume.
Yeah, as long as the bandolier is no more than 60 foot away from the dagger. Because at the
Oh,
end
no,
of
I
the
was
day,
just saying more on
things
the-
work in more than just a two-dimensional axis. You can, like, angles up, down, left, right, back,
Yeah, but I
forward.
have a lot of attunement slots.
I know.
Oh, you all full up?
Typically.
You're not going to get a magical, other than your standards, like longsword or something.
Yeah. The other thing is, most of these weapons here haven't been enchanted or anything. That's about the only one we've got, unless I go and get it done, which I've already explained will take a few hours.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we'll just head out. Well, maybe later. If
Can't
we're,
you
like,
talk to?
staying in town today.
I would say lead on the way. Can't you talk to Boomer?
Oh, right, does he... I know he plays with stuff. I didn't know what he played with. I always just see him in his room, and it's kind of loud, and I kind of just tune it out.
Even I
Wow.
mean, I haven't spent much time with you guys, and even I know that he enjoys fucking, he likes in weapons and doing stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I
he's just
assume-
seemed really busy. I'll definitely ask him later.
yeah, ask him.
And last, moving on, last, and certainly not least, Chair, is there anything else you want to buy from the black market? I'm sorry, I didn't mean Chair, I meant Persephone. Thank you for the follow.
Varnishing or
Well,
Varnitosh?
I was going to say, I can get you some Varnitosh, but not varnishing. But Persephone. Meme aside,
No, thank you.
is there nothing...
I'll
Okay.
I'm just praising them with you guys.
No, that's absolutely fine. So yeah, you like Greytail are just eyeing up the different belongings and seeing if there's anything of interest. But eventually, all the shopping in this underground establishment comes to an end. You will go back up through the entrance where you came, with the doors firmly locked behind you. And I would say eventually you would meet up with Eventine, who had left before to walk Argyle back.
Yeah, I would probably have head back to Persephone's. No, not Persephone. Penelope. Ugh, that's messing me up. Yeah. Yeah, I probably would have headed back to Penelope's. So meet up there.
It's absolutely fine. And eventually we'd all meet up back in the abode of the one and the only Persephone. Penelope.
Wow, we both got that one up.
I'm gonna say we both said Persephone. I followed what you said, and I didn't pick up it was wrong.
Don't blame Michael.
No, Michael said it, and I didn't notice that he said it incorrect, so I followed him. That's the. Whereas if I'd have noticed, I probably would have not done it. Don't matter. You all eventually meet up. Okay. Fuck.
So, when next?
Well,
Yeah, I don't know. We've got a day before we have to come back. Is it 2?
2 weeks.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
weeks?
2
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I thought we were teleporting there. So, are we teleporting there or boating it?
well, we need to either way get the Derek sorted. He'll have enough food to meet us at Fjordmore, if that's the case.
May I make a suggestion?
Yep.
If you get the boat to go to Colossal Tega, how easy would it be for us to get from Fjordmore to Colossal Tega?
Probably a few days, I'm not certain.
It would cut out 4 days of it coming down the canal.
But they would still be the days required for.
What are we doing after Fiadomore then?
Yeah, because there's to Colossal Tagaluk, which is 844 mile, whereas taking it to Fiadomore is just shy of 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, it would save a day.
Yeah, and at a ship,
this-
that can go 24 miles an hour continuously.
Mm-hmm. And well, if we do that and we then tell him, okay, meet us there on this day instead, then
Yes.
it means he doesn't have to push himself to get to Colossal Taiga, and then we don't have to deal with trying to hide him for a whole day.
Good point, and it would put us at a better position for whatever we do next.
Might be the case that we might even ask him to either wait a little bit offshore and we try and send him, try and get someone to retrieve him afterwards, or he waits for us a bit further round.
Wait, Ash, are you trying to say it's 2 days to Fiadomore?
For the boat?
24
miles an hour, 24 hours a day, 576 miles per day.
Oh, I didn't actually sit and work the math.
24
Nice.
times 24, 576.
Damn, alright.
Oh no, you need anti-ass squares now.
I mean, I also
No,
assume
I-
actually put him like that.
No, I just didn't bother to sit and like do the math yet. That's all. It's like it just seemed a lot less than both me and Michael had expected. Damn. Wait. Oh shit! No, I know what I've done. It's not 24 miles an hour. It's 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Okay.
120.
120 miles a day is what the okay. It's 100.
That's different. So 8 or 10 days is the difference then.
That seems about right. Where did I get 24
7 or
miles?
9,
Oh,
rather.
I know where I got 24 miles is what you do on foot. If you
This is a
isn't
In a day.
Yeah, that's what I got confused with. Ignore.
You can walk 24 miles a day without pushing yourself.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. Ignore.
So, would Penelope mind? She's there, right? There's a Penelope near us.
Yeah.
Penelope
We would
minds.
so, because I'm currently stood in the...
Well,
We should be in the tent.
look, we don't mind necessarily. So long as it's not used, if that makes sense. We don't mind helping as much as we can, given the situations at hand.
Yeah, we don't want to take the piss.
It would be appreciated. We don't mind at all helping, just we're not a taxi. But we'll happily help where we can.
It's not an emergency, so we can take the dairy.
Technically, I would disagree. Just
Sorry.
use the fact we have 2 weeks to do everything that we want to do.
But
It's not a lot of time.
getting the direct meetings in Colossal... Well, what do we need in Colossal Taiga? Is your thinking closer to Colossal Taiga than it is for Greytail?
The Greytail's thing is at Fiadomore, but I thought
Mine's
there
in.
was something people want to do.
I don't believe there was anything in Colossal Taiga we needed.
Vian.
Oh,
I will
yeah,
just hold up the warning poster and go, is this not being dealt with?
I thought we were dealing with it by avoiding it.
That is not no, that is called avoiding it. Dealing
Yeah.
with it is called doing it.
The problem is being resolved by not looking at the problem.
By avoiding the problem.
Yeah.
To be fair, a problem doesn't exist if you don't look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're like those children that stand behind things and go, nobody can see me. Ha ha ha. No, come on. Like, you have 2 weeks to finish everything that you need to do because you might die when we are on the other side. Do you not want to make amends and settle debts?
No. Let them burn.
Sorry?
No, let them burn.
I don't believe that you talk for everybody. Right? Is there other stuff that other people would like to get completed within the next 2 weeks before we all die, potentially, as we take on the numbers.
If we're gonna die, we die. Nothing. There's no point messing about with opening new bonds. As
I do
such.
need to get.
The ones that are already open, obviously, but
Nah. If them open, let it go. As Mike said. Well, it's Mike. Evan said.
okay.
I mean, I'd rather
that's
not die if that's on the table.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's basically, yeah. I mean, Hela's being a little bit.
Over the top.
Oh, I'm
I was going to
sorry.
be more diplomatic,
suicide.
but sure.
this issue with this wanted poster is up to Vianne anyway. It's up to her if she wants to go to and sort it out. So
Well, that's why.
what do you
about-
want to do?
I mean, if I'm
Yeah.
gonna die, I should probably tell them that I'm gonna die, but I'd also rather not die, and I also would rather not have to,
We're not gonna die. We'll
Yeah, we
kill
should be
them.
alright.
We just get. We may just get maimed a bit.
It's a sneak in, sneak out.
You're also fucking me. When has that worked for us any of the other times that we tried to do that?
We've
It
never
worked-
tried. We've
it
never
works
tried
for
to do any
me.
sneaking with you.
Yeah, it works for me. Just everyone else messes it up.
did you sneak around?
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
Nice.
never done that.
It's usually Deer that messes it up for us. I
And
love you really
Clunky.
though, Deer. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know.
I just mean this is going to be the biggest of some of your lifetimes. The thing that you will do that will define you for the rest of time.
I killed a dragon. I think I'm done. I think I've done mine.
So saving the country isn't something bigger than a bloody dragon.
The dragon's
geez.
huge.
Ash,
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
We're
it is not
really-
time to duel. Put it away.
No.
going to say we're really going about the bush. I just meant we have 2 weeks to do a lot of stuff if people wanted to do their stuff. If they don't, then that is fine. We were trying to decide whether we wouldn't mind Penelope would take us somewhere. Obviously, everybody wants to ride there and back on the boat, so decision made.
Well, I believed we were having to sail to Theodomore because we needed to speak to Brunhilde anyway about the whole mess in Dunvast.
Oh yeah, of course, there is other stuff that we need to do whilst we were there, but we were trying to discuss transport, no?
We were discussing whether or not we wanted to ask for Penelope's help to get us to Fjeidalmore soon and get the Derek to go to Fjeidalmore or Colossal Taiga and meet us there.
Yes.
But I was confused as to what other reason than having the Derek stop near Colossal Taiga we actually had.
Because Vianne's stuff has. When I spoke with you, you said that this might be something that you would want to do eventually. And I thought that
Never
seen as
said, never said that was something. I
not
was looking to
you. Oh.
You were talking to me and then you said you.
Collective you.
Yes. But what I meant is, Vianne, do you want to talk to your family or not?
I'd rather not avoid them forever. I just also don't really want to go home. I just don't know how to talk to them without going home. Like, I figure I can try telling them I'm just fine and everything, but that doesn't usually go well.
We can probably
Since-
send a raven from Fjeldamore to Cosseltager just with a letter.
You could just send a
If that-
cockatiel named Damien.
You know, could they? He's a very expensive.
The problem without seeing her in the flesh is it could be faked. Are they likely to believe that somebody has not ransomed them off like the fact that what they are saying? I mean, even I, before I met you guys, heard word that somebody had kidnapped. Well, she was missing, but there were like rumors about the princess of some such place being kidnapped. It was everywhere. But that is completely defeating the point. I just meant if we get the boat to go to Colossal Taiga, it would also mean that we could go to Helvetica easier afterwards as well, as that is an open contract. Do people not?
On board.
agree or disagree or have a better suggestion?
I agree with Helra.
Mhm.
So
Well,
we're
I
still
mean-
planning on doing the Helvetica job.
Mhm.
I'm indifferent.
I
That's
mean,
gonna take
I mean,
a lot more than 2
I'd
weeks.
about to say the Helvetica job is locate the people who raided Helvetica. We
It
don't
is
even
also-
know where they are.
No.
Does Penelope have a shop in Helvetica?
That's actually a good point. What happened to the Penelope in Helvetica?
She's still around.
So did they not kill that one? No.
No, they only killed a small amount of people, and it was mostly those that worked in the manor with the lords there at the time.
Sorry, Danny, a little confused. I thought there was a massacre that happened afterwards. I thought Helvetica was wiped out.
No, not wiped out, but the problem.
Taken over.
A lot of people did die, but it wasn't a complete like everyone died.
Well, also they
'Cause you
didn't
gotta
they
consider-
replace a lot of the people that they
Yeah,
killed.
so you had the people that were replaced, which was close to about 30 people, and then because the attack was such a surprise because of how they'd done it, like another 100 or so people got killed for it, which
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a lot of people, but it wasn't a very big place.
Also, we might not have accurate numbers because they would have probably, tried to control the narrative. So they could have said it was a lot less
Yeah,
than it
no.
actually.
Penelope herself, the Penelope that was in Helvetica is more than fine. It's just the problem is, it wasn't a complete wipeout. Just a lot of people got hurt. Mainly the family that ran the Isle were killed. That was the most important loss.
So, I have a quick question because I was getting rather confused once we were discussing things with Argyle. What are we doing in 2 weeks? Like, why are we going to the other side?
Well, we're going to go and replace the battery device crystal for this group. We're going to go and try and grab Clarissa and possibly get Cass at the same time.
Okay, this makes more sense. It's a rescue mission. Okay. I was just sitting here and going, oh, we agreed to do something, and he seemed very angry about something, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just-
those lot took him captive. The
yeah, the information kind of muddled in transition, which is understandable if he has trauma, you know. So, is there anything else then, or are we going to go with Penelope, or spend the week getting to Fiadomore, and then the week back?
Penelope to Fiadomore and then walk up to Colossaltega, meet the boat.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the main thing, but we should also possibly keep an option open in case we get an urgent job from Brunhilde to go back to.
Yeah. Any planning beyond Fiadomore seems like a waste of time at the moment because we don't know enough information.
Well, this is because if we need to get back to Dunvast to solve that problem, we might need
Be quick.
Penelope.
Yeah.
You are helping us a great deal. Is there anything we can help you with in return?
Well, you
That's
said
all I want,
you're going to the demi-plane, right?
Yeah.
As,
I believe so, right?
Yeah, that's
as crude as it sounds, honestly, if you could find anything that might be useful, anything of high power, any items, artifacts, or ingredients that you could make sure they don't miss, I'm sure we could put something to use.
Sounds good.
Could you possibly look into a way of helping us with any materials we might need to return to this plane? We've currently got,
Oh.
well, just in case they decide to, the people that are helping us decide it's not a good idea to help us return.
I can look into a scroll, a one-use something.
Either a scroll
Or one of the
or something
crystals.
to help us attune to crystal or scroll or a tuning fork, whatever can
Tuning
help. Basically, whatever can help.
Well, if I can, we don't have it in the minute, but if I can get my hands on a crystal of teleportation or scroll of plane shift or something, I'll let you know.
I think it just means that for us to be able to use plane shift, Danny, we will need a tuning fork that's attuned to this plane.
But the thing is, that's easy enough. It's the scroll itself that's the issue.
Well, depends
We
on
will
if
have
we manage to.
access to it. Yeah.
I
Sorry,
need to just double check something because I think. Yeah. Okay. That's why I kept wondering why the tuning fork was necessary, and then I just double checked, and it's because it's got a gold value. It needs to have a gold. It's a gold value thing. Otherwise, you could just use the focus to ignore the tuning fork. So I was wondering what. I was wondering why don't we do that? Oh wait, because it's got a gold cost. That's why.
How much is it? Is it like 500?
I know 250. Tuning fork that
Oh,
needs to be
that's-
attuned to the plane. 250 gold.
Or you can go to a teleportation circle on another plane.
But you need the tuning fork to the plane.
Yeah. This reminds me, and I will divvy out the money. I will just basically start to go and sit down. This conversation's going on before we jump to Fiadamore and hand out the cash.
Yeah.
So everyone will.
Who?
Love, no, that's my book.
How much are we getting?
So it is 50 platinum and 62
That's a lot.
gold, 5 silver. Do you want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah, I mean, I put it in the other week, but yeah.
I have.
Yeah, well, you control what you think our inventory is. We're also all controlling our own inventory.
Yeah,
so it's
no, it's not that. It's just keeping kind of track over everyone's kind of money, but also the fact is, I put it in the chat what the money was.
Oh.
Like last week. That's why I was confused why we hadn't divvied up, because we'd already arranged to divvy everything up.
But are you all ready to go to Fiadamore now?
Do you need some money for the tuning fork if you find one? Would you prefer that now?
We can arrange if we find something.
Please.
We've dealt with you all enough that we can work it out.
You know our code's good.
Sorry, I'm just going to put that on now. Just ready.
How long would you say this has been, Danny? Or can we have a quick break? Would people be bothered by that before we go? Or can we? Never mind. Let's just.
Well,
I wanted to join a tune before we went into something, but.
Oh, no, you've literally only been like 40 minutes, 50 minutes maybe.
Since I've got it, okay. Yeah. That's fine. If you had them all?
Yeah, I need to step away for a moment, so I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just set the scene. So, eventually, the party will make their way to Fiadamore through Penelope's tent. I don't know why there is a cross over the inn, but it is what it is. I'll get rid of it. But you guys make your way here. If you have the money, Vianne, Penelope is more than able to.
Crossed off, got it, thank you.
Gems, gemstones, and most ingredients are easily available through Penelope. Most.
Yeah, I needed a 1k agate.
Which I would say she has. But, Gray, this is your time, buddy. You are aware that it's the orphanage is somewhere in like this residential district here. Can you see me ping it?
Yeah.
As you guys arrive in the tavern, right here, you go straight there or anywhere else?
Straight there, I guess.
Do we want to set up rooms or are you... Okay. To the orphanage.
I don't think this will take long. Probably just a load of signing shit, probably.
Okay.
Could be a load of nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, here's this letter, and you've got this great inheritance. And here is 3 copper. Thanks.
I'll tag along.
Yeah.
I'm good at helping with paperwork.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd like to tag along.
I hope you
thought
will
we
come
were
along
working
and look after the group. If I'm the only one
Wait.
for one.
Did you not
Okay.
want us to come along? We say as you're following.
I just shrug and start walking. I don't know.
And I'm assuming everyone will come with us because I will say to him
Yes.
that we will go to
I would-
Brunhilde after.
I would assume with the intention of orphanage now, Brunhilde later.
Yeah, so I'll make sure, just for when Michael comes back, that I've had a quick word with him just saying we will go to Brunhilde after this.
You make your
Yeah.
way, following. Can you just make a quick history check for me, Greytail?
Uh-oh.
I was worried then for a second.
Where is the orphanage, Greytail?
Don't know.
Make a history check,
Okay.
Greytail.
I'd say,
Oh,
I'd say,
he's here
I'd
somewhere.
say. Also, Greytail, you're an urchin, therefore you remember how to get around the city very quickly.
Ah, good.
I don't know.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. You can remember to get lost quicker.
Ah,
Mhm.
Because I believe it just affects travel, doesn't it, Michael? Not knowing where shit is.
Yes, but
Can we ask-
I would also say it's the city he grew up in. so.
Yeah.
Like he lived on the streets.
Don't get me wrong. It was a DC 5, but I still wanted to make him roll because it's funny.
I nearly failed.
You nearly did. Even DC 5, which is designed to be like almost impossible to fail. But you find one of the houses that you remember that has been converted, and there's a simple wooden sign outside that that is just simply written Fyodor Moore Western District Orphanage. Make your way inside, and
Do I actually recognise it from memory, or not?
you recognise it in the sense of you look at the building and go, yeah, that seems right, but you don't remember it, as in you don't recognise it, but you look at the building with familiarity. Like, you know when you look at something, you're like, I'm sure I fucking know that, and I don't know why.
Is that a
Like
paper?
deja vu.
Yeah, it's in the very back of your mind, and you look at it, it's like, no, this has got to be the place, I'm sure. It just rings right in my head.
Hmm.
You're in the right place. The building gives off that familial vibe. You walk in,
Head in.
and you see a young human girl sat at the front desk that is kind of like in what would be a hallway almost, as she's just writing a couple bits of paper, and you can hear the noise of children like chuntering in the other room behind her. Oh, well, welcome all of you. Kind of gives that concerned look, given you are adventurers in an orphanage. Can I help any of you?
Yes, I've got this, and I'll hand over the scroll.
She'll take it, and she looks up at you all like, she's a little on edge because, you know. Right. Oh. See. Are you Francisco?
Greytail is fine.
You are,
Power will look at the rest of them like, what?
but but this is
Yeah, I'm Francisco Grey.
right. Wait here a moment. I need to just let the matron be aware that you're here. She was the one that deals with these, considering I've only been here a short while. And she will put her quill down and stuff, and she'll run up the stairs that are in the hallway, and she'll just be
I
shouting.
immediately turn around to everyone, point at them, and go, "Shut up!
And
Don't you fucking dare!"
And she's just running up the stairs. And there's these girls running up the stairs going, matron, we have someone's here. And as you just turn around and go, shut up. As all of them are looking at you with a bit of
Smirk. Francisco?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Are you okay, Francisco?
Right?
Silence.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Was that?
Right, Helra said, so your name's Francisco?
Apparently.
Apparently.
What? I mean, you use a fake name? An alias?
Well, technically, it's not fake, is it? His name's Grey, but Francisco's nothing wrong with Francisco.
You got the name. You about to say you got the name from the letter, didn't you?
Yes.
And you've known yourself as Greytail all your life,
Yeah.
so it's not a fake name.
It's not an alias, not a deliberate one anyway.
Oh, I do apologize. You literally never told us any of us about this, and the woman said that your name was Francisco, and you seemed quite.
And at this point, the young lady, Julia, will come running back down and says, the matron, if you don't mind, you all can come with if you wish. She's happy to see you now. Excuse me. And she's kind of like halfway down the stairs looking at you expectantly to come up.
Yeah. Lead on.
And she'll take you upstairs to one of the offices, and it's matron Patricia. And that name rings a bell. That name does ring a bell. That is one of the old crones that used to try and put you straight, and like who very often was the one who berated you when you went out and did shit you shouldn't do. She was like she's that typical, like she's the Trunchbull in from the child's perspective. She's Trunchbull.
Yeah.
But in your now perspective, you walk in and you see this bigger and older lady, and she looks very warm and caring, and she goes, "Oh, Francisco, it's good to see you. Please, all of you, come in. It's been worrisome. I didn't actually wonder if any of you, the others that you left with, would have ever found the letters that we tried sending. I'm glad you did, though.
Others I left with.
Well, don't you remember when you went off with that gang? There was 2 or 3 of you that went, and we haven't heard hide or tale of the others. But it's not important right now. We're here to talk about you. And I'm sure from the letter you've understood at least part of the things that we were asked not to explain straight away to you. Yes?
Yeah.
And she will go into like a cabinet, and she'll produce something wrapped in some cloth and a letter. And I'm just reading the puns in the fucking Roll20 chat. My God.
I'm ignoring them.
This here was the will of your parents, Francisco. They were one of few people that have the ability to have them set up. So when we took you in, we were to wait to the right time, but unfortunately we couldn't. To explain to you what was yours. Everything that belonged to them is to be left to the son and heir of the Grey family, which is yourself, Grey.
Sorry.
Okay.
Mm.
And she will hand over the piece of fabric to you if you take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That's a key, Francisco. West, if you follow the main street out to the outskirts of the city and go west, you'll come across fenced estate. That's the key for the front gate as well as the front door to the Grey residence. We've not been there, and after everything, all we know is that it was kept locked and sealed and given to us for you to have at the right time. Your parents left you a sizable home, something of your own. I don't know what's in there, personally, but everything in there and on the grounds are yours.
Interesting. I'll go take a look.
I would like to apologize as well, Francisco. I know you, and as well as many of the other kids, didn't like me growing up, and I hope you appreciate now that it was just an attempt to try and make you all better, right?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's all forgotten.
Right. Well, I'm glad. It's nice to know that you're well and seemingly with interesting but fulfilling company. You look a lot better than you did back then. You look much happier and not as angry anymore.
Well, the halfling hasn't opened his mouth yet, so
That's a win.
Actually,
Oh,
obviously,
here we
Boomer's...
go.
No.
Go on.
Boomer's not going to be there.
yeah.
Okay.
He would have still back. We would be back Penelope working
Oh,
on
what a
the weapon.
surprise! What a surprise! Yeah.
He's got to. He's got a lot of hours getting, so he isn't going to be
Okay.
anywhere.
Oh, Boomer's gonna
Stuff.
be booming.
I understand where you're coming from. Could we have at least said to Boomer and highlighted the fact that we probably will not come back to Penelope for several hours? We might be going out and about.
That's fine. That's more. The more hours can get on the pepper box.
The more
better.
hours with Penelope, Boomer's happy.
Oh.
If you're sure,
Yeah, she's
Adam,
really gonna work on that
Adam,
box.
if you're sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just initially I won't get them hours in, so.
Yeah, you work on that box.
But if there is any issue, if there is any issues, please do come and speak with us, and we can try and sort things out. As far as I've been made aware, that is everything you should need to gain access to the place, and it's interesting. Well, not interesting, but just try to. I know you never remembered anything of Lucilla or Giuseppe, but they were your parents, and hopefully everything will work. Is there anything you need?
What was my parents' name again?
Lucilla and Giuseppe.
Who's Petal?
Oh, yeah, your mum's name was Petal. I've got Petal.
Oh.
Mum's
down
name
my
was
name.
Shit! Wait, have I got the? Hang on.
so a Danny mistake.
I think I've put the wrong name in the wrong box. Yep.
Okay.
Ignore. What it is, Danny was
Family
dumb.
drama, only remarried.
No, what it is.
Oh no, we don't talk about her anymore.
No, what it is, Danny was dumb, and when I ripped my notes up, when I was working the elections, I put the wrong name in my handwritten notes, and it's kind of like, the Mandela effect. I've reinforced
Copied over, yeah.
I've reinforced the wrong name because I've written it so many times now. Sorry, my bad. It's Patel here.
Oh.
Okay.
That was me. Yep, so it's Giuseppe and Petal. So, is there anything else that you want to ask? Anything you want to say? You were with us for a number of years. I'm sure you have many questions.
It's a bit of a blur, maybe because it was a long time ago. I don't really remember being here, particularly.
Oh. And then you'll kind of just watch her, like, change tack a little with how she's speaking, then, like, in reaction. Right, no, that makes sense. That's fine. But please, just try to be as good as you can be with everything, and I hope it's some token towards it. And if there's nothing else you need, you're more than welcome to go.
Thank you.
Just remember, it's
I just get up and leave.
westward, out of the outskirts. That's where you need to go. As you leave, and Julia will... well, that's certainly good. Please, this way, and she'll lead you back downstairs to the front area, and you can still hear the kids in the front room.
I would kind of just say to her, thank you for your time.
It's
I would
fine, honestly. No need. Just
How long?
look after him.
We will do.
If you don't mind me asking, how long was Grey here?
About 6 years or so. From when he was about 4 or 5.
So he was really very little when he left.
Yeah, he got to the orphanage about 4 or 5, and then he ran about 10, 11. And then that's where Grey's memory is intact enough that he remembers those parts of his life.
Okay.
I'll give her a nod and head downstairs to follow
Yeah.
after Grey.
You can see that there is hints of concern on the woman's face, especially the memory loss and things. It's kind of, like, do you know what I mean? Like, but not in a oh no, but more like in a motherly care, like that's I hope he gets better sort of thing. But she doesn't say it's how she's present. She's a very caring and concerning person. It's just Trunchbull to the kids because she's the one that also has to discipline them.
Yeah. She's actually really nice.
But to a kid's perspective, she was the worst person in the world.
Monster.
Yeah.
No, you can't electrocute yourself. No, you can't eat the pet hamster.
No.
You're just sat there like, this is so unfair.
No,
I hate
you can't have 3 gallons of ice cream for breakfast with a chaser of chocolate.
That's so mean.
Fucking A. But you all
Pure
end up
evil.
outside, and Grey, you've got the will and testament document. She would have handed that to you as well.
Before we leave the place,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to drop 2 coins for her and say, look, here's a couple of gold coins just to help.
And Julia will be the one, probably when you hand them to, and she'll be,
Yeah.
that'll help a lot. Thank you. We can certainly do a lot with that. A lot more than what most people would think. Appreciate it.
There we go. I'm going to take 2 gold off me.
One thing you do notice, Grey, is the will is signed at the bottom, obviously by Giuseppe and Petal Grey, but is like the co-signature, the one that's like put the authorization on this will. It's from it's a surname none of you really recognize too well, the Bella Vials. This was under the authority of the Bella Vials, that this will and testament was to be enacted should anything happen.
History check?
Does that make any sense to me?
People from this country can make a history check.
Okay.
The thing is, Ash, I'm not going to let you roll because the DC would be that high.
No, I get
it's
that.
not fair to, you know what I mean?
I was just gonna say, like, if they're a noble family, I could see potential crossover from other countries, but
Yeah. Would I be able to get one? Because I've technically been in this country for longer than most of the party's been alive.
I would certainly say so.
Da-da-da-da. No. I'm a little bit
Right.
more concerned with Grey at this point.
You recognize the name Bella Viles as the name on a piece of paper that Greytail is holding.
Yeah.
Greytail,
Is she-
you know, given the spottiness with some of your memory, especially going back any further than what you have, as far back as you can remember, like teenage adolescence and things like that, you don't recognize this name at all.
Okay.
Maybe we could ask Brunhilde when we speak with her.
Yeah, could do. Did that place feel weird to anyone else?
No?
It was weird, right?
No.
Probably
No.
felt weird
No.
to you because it was a place you've been to. Also,
I
I'm
mean,
trying not. I was about to say, I'm trying not to acknowledge the everything the light touches is your kingdom that Danny accidentally nearly said.
That's
Oh,
that's a Disney thing, innit? I forgot.
The Lion
my
King.
God.
I've never watched it.
Jesus.
I've never
You-
watched it.
You
Danny.
have to watch The Lion King.
No.
Well,
No.
technically, Grey
What's
is
that?
the Lion King.
He could be the Simba of the story at the moment. So.
Exactly.
Don't, nobody dangle me off a cliff.
I said you were the Simba, not the Mufasa.
Hmm.
If you're the Mufasa, this is a very different story.
Yeah, say goodbye to you soon.
I was about to say, I'm wondering where the kid is at that point.
You
Grey?
haven't got children, have you?
No,
Is
God
that,
no.
is that the secret of what's going to happen?
Shutting up.
So, just a quick thing. What is the intention? Are you guys going to the estate now? Or
Well,
later?
can I ask Grey a question? Because I've tried
Go
like
for
4
it.
times, but
Go for it.
talking over. How old are you?
Looks it. I'm 20.
I
You're wrote it down somewhere. Yeah.
I'm about to say, I love how you said that.
I
and
knew
like
you- I
were
knew-
checking
yeah.
Your own you look like you were checking your own label then. Just
I
like,
didn't know the exact
20.
number. I didn't know the exact number, but I knew it was early 20s. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like,
I just... Okay. That is a bit strange. Right?
what?
You do not
Was?
remember anything previous to about 11 years old? You said it's strange when you were in there. You said to her that you don't remember this place.
Well, I don't.
Over half-
Would I have had any flashes like
Um.
you know if you go some
Yeah,
go
yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
and the smells and stuff?
Roll. Roll just a d20.
Right.
No, dude. Sorry. The place reeks of that. I know this place. I've been here. But you don't recognize it as, oh shit, I played cards with Jim Bob over there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you just get that. I've been here before.
Jim Bob and Francisco.
I will get like real close up and kind of look at him a little bit and go, what are you?
Tabaxi, we've met. I've been over this several times, people.
I say, I
No,
mean,
I just mean over half of your life is no memory. There's nothing.
he had a goddess restore that part of his memory anyway.
Yeah.
A what?
Yeah, goddess.
Wait. I
Yes.
don't think I've been around for this bit. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
A
like
goddess.
just before we met you, we just when we said about killing 2 of the numbers, they pulled down a thing of the aspect of Nistra.
Mhm.
We
Who
have
kind of
mentioned
filled
this
in some
before.
blank.
So it's not that you just woke up one day and like you've actually technically been dead for generations and then suddenly popped back. Okay, that's at least a little bit of positivity.
Not that I know of. Wait, No, that did happen.
Well, yeah, you did die.
Yeah.
But it was.
Oh.
That was after.
So you did. Yeah, that wasn't generations to come back. That was like an afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You guys
I
really
mean,
like
they
to
had
say
some
stuff
pretty-
that sounds normal the way you
Yes.
say it.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, they had spent more. I think they spent more time putting his spine back in his body than they actually did bringing him back to life.
Wait. What? Wait.
Don't ask.
That was right here as well.
Yeah. That was up the road.
Vian has just said that you have a habit of saying, "Yeah, we met a god. My spine was out of my back." God taught to us, "I am secretly Earl of big country estate." It's weird.
Secretly rich, yeah.
Go with the flow, don't
Yeah, pretty much.
This is it. You technically now you're a member of nobility.
you?
I am
have a
not
house.
calling you Lord.
Will if I tell you to.
I just mean, doesn't that come with certain responsibilities?
Nope.
Maybe when we speak.
But say it comes with responsibilities, and I'm guessing
selling
Greytail,
up.
you have no intention of honouring those responsibilities.
Nope.
Yeah, sell up.
Right. I think at the moment we should probably.
Brunhilde.
Yep, Brunhilde.
Are we going to
okay.
into the tavern on the way back? Can we go get rooms as well and get secured before we speak to
I've
Brunhilde?
literally just been given a key to a massive house.
Yeah.
There's probably room.
Yeah, I'm going to the house with Grey.
It's also been locked up for over 15 years. Do you think it's going to be in any fit state to sleep in for you guys? Because you're all kind of squishy and a
Sloppy.
little. I
I've slept-
didn't mean me.
I mean,
meant
I
for you.
literally used to sleep there, and I point at the very top of the church.
So
Oh.
I think
This is fine then. Cool. Brunhilde.
So- Brunhilde, and then we go to the house.
Okay.
Okay.
Making your way to the center of town, the small fort-ish like structure that looks like a manor house has been converted with fortifications around it. Making your way in, and you can see the large banquet hall with the large, like Harry Potter style, like, you know, the long rows of wooden tables up the center, and then at the very end there's a set of stairs that go up to a large table where the important people sit.
So on the slightly raised dais where the main table is.
Yeah, you would make your way, and Brunhilde would eventually be brought into the main room because it's not always in use, just as and when people come.
It's a reception area kind of deal.
It's the main room, but obviously she was currently in a side room doing something and then was brought through. So, as you guys get there, Brunhilde will come through and go, "We've been trying to get hold of you for a while now. For some reason we can't find you as easily as we used to. Do you know why?"
I'll point at the next.
I would say preventative measures. The group.
I mean, I don't.
No, you don't.
I
Hi,
don't
nice
have
to
it.
meet you, by the way.
Oh, yes. This is Vian.
Have I met?
Not really. I think you might have, but
I'm going to walk up to her and do, like, you know, the warrior's handshake thing of the hand to the forearm and everything, and
Yeah.
at least be like doing kind of deal a little bit.
Well, it's good
You
to.
guys reported back after island stuff happened because you talked to
Yeah.
her about the assassins that were hunting them, so Greytail probably met her.
A messenger pigeon was sent. You didn't report back directly. Oh wait, no, you did after the Frosselger. You did after the Frosselger. Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it was like, get your asses back here. People are killing all my mercenaries.
Yeah.
It's good to see that you're well, Helra. Any issues befallen? Anyone trying to? Has any issues befallen the group? Has anyone tried to make harm to these?
Gas was taken.
Yes. Also, we met one of these numbers. She tried to take Vian.
You mean the one that's on all of the posters?
That
Yeah,
one,
that's
yes.
me.
Oh, for different reason.
I'm well aware of the reasons. I'm more curious as why she's with you all.
She's been assisting us.
Yeah, she's very accomplished individual with a lot of skills who doesn't want to be under her father's thumb no more, correct?
Yeah, that one.
She's not missing. She technically left.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, please, Vian.
Oh, no, I mean, I've wandered off before. They just always panic whenever I wander off and cause a bit of a fuss.
I think you ought to before it gets any worse. Needs to be resolved as soon as. Do you hear me? Don't want this coming back on any of us.
I'll look to it.
Sort of.
But-
yes, we've been looking into a few other things, and you wanted to get a hold of us.
Aside. Brings you.
Well, you get hold of us.
Dunvast, isn't it? There, we're a little concerned.
Why?
The whole leadership issue.
I went there to basically make good on a deal that we'd done. We'd solved a little problem they were having in the water nearby, and went there and was told that I was told that the Lord was not available for discussion, and he had not been available for a week. When I came back to the rest of the party, they told me that it was previous lady, which just rang too, and then, right, that's unusual. Like, there's been a change in leadership there.
Yeah, there has been. As I took her off her position because she was no longer fit to rule.
Why? May we ask?
Let's just say Varum didn't pay her dues when she was asked. We asked 4 or 5 times, and we kept getting met with excuses. So, she was asked to step down.
When you say pay her dues, do you mean taxes?
Correct.
Yes, that's what she means.
As you're very well aware, Helra, every town under our control brings tribute, and then we, in turn, bring infrastructure, protection, amongst many other things that we do and run after all these towns.
But I thought when is now in position. Does the debt not transfer through marriage?
Well,
It does. It's now under the control of her partner, Daruk, but Varum herself thought it was high time that they wanted to become independent, and the Vetkas wanted to try and force themselves away, despite personal opinion.
Okay.
Why has he not spoken to his people then?
There's been they're under the opinion that she has gone missing.
Yes.
Forcefully been gone missing, and Daruk has been brought in to
Well, I
take
will
care.
have to send someone to have word, because no, that is entirely not the case. For some
That is
reason,
why-
someone had gotten ear of Varum and started seeding these messages.
We were just concerned, given the whole issue with Helvetka.
Right.
We didn't want a similar incident to happen, given it's so close.
Well, yes, it's being dealt with. They have been repelled, and I know to 3 individual vessels that are currently tailing and chasing them.
Okay.
Also, it's good that you've all arrived, because I hadn't heard of you, Helra, and for a while I had assumed the worst. As it stands, your group is now the only one left on retainer.
Did the others die?
They did. In the southern continent, they were attacked. And we haven't heard of them in nigh a week.
Do you have any word of who this organization that has taken out your mercenaries is?
No, but they're highly coordinated and obviously have the means and the resources to conceal themselves very well. Now, we'll make sure that we get to the bottom of it.
Yes.
If I hear anything, I will be in touch by some means. I will send Raven.
Do it. Is there anything else you came, or was it just to merely check on the Dunvast leadership?
It was primarily the Dunvast situation. We hadn't checked in for a while as well.
Well, that's understandable. We had assumed you were killed, given we tried to reach out multiple times, and attempts to scry and other methods have failed.
We had prevented that as another group has been tracking us. Like we say, the group that we've been calling the Numbers, a group of mages, has been working in the background. Do you know anything about the incident that happened the north of Dunvast in the mountains?
We were made aware through reports of unusual activity. When we reached there, there was fighting that had clearly been taken place, but everything was in ruins and gone by the time we got there. Why? Was that something to do with you lot?
Yes, this group of mages had attempted. Do you remember an incident where all magic switched off for about a minute?
I do.
That was the incident where this group had attempted to summon to capture and contain the power of Mistra.
That was you guys?
That was us.
Oh,
Like we
I
said,
did one.
got us. So, when we got there, they had shackled an aspect of Mistra and were trying to contain it.
Right.
We released it and killed two of their members that identified themselves as numbers 3 and 4.
And what do these numbers mean?
The lower the number, the higher the rank in the organization.
Right. Continue.
We dealt with that. There was another member that we encountered named Solastranzia, who is, we have the number 5 for her. We do not know if that's been increased. We do not know if that's been increased since her higher ranks have been.
Would you mind, Evan, if we give a brief description to Brunhilde, so at least if this is someone that she is interacting with, she can be aware?
Mm-hmm.
I will give a brief description of young female, human, dark hair, has like usually a gem circling her head, and I will give like a brief description, skin tone, color, all that jazz.
Husband, make notes of all these, please, and go and fetch them a communication stone. They're going to be hard to reach, or at least make it easier for us.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be removed around you all? Can you hold? It's fine. I will take it. It saves the potentiality of it not working.
It's sending is not divination magic. We can use sending and receive sending.
Is it? Oh, I did not know. It is not a spell I have gained access to yet.
We've had messages like that.
It should work as far as we're aware, but yes, as it stands, you are the last group. The mercenary we sent to go meet the group south got there too late, you see. So it's a good thing that you actually got there.
Did the
yes,
mercenary report how they died, or they just vanished?
They were killed through blade. Their bodies were
Okay.
found in the manner in which they were staying as ambassadorial guests of the southern area, the
Region?
Borverens.
Mhm.
City, if you don't mind me asking.
Give me a sec to quickly pull up the map, because I know where it is on the map. I just got to... Bralfan.
That
No.
not where we were.
No, sorry. Skorgenheim.
So it wasn't Skorgenheim.
Oh,
Because it was the capital of the southern section for the Borverens, which is Skorgenheim.
how long ago did this happen?
Hard to tell. They were long dead when he got there to meet them. He guessed maybe a couple days.
The days when he met,
So-
and that was so they've been dead a couple of days, and that's been what? How long since that report? Since
2
you would have
weeks
met them?
now. 2-3 weeks most.
It would be before, way before we.
Aelra
were-
was sent at the same time as
Mm.
the other one. But obviously, Aelra had a slightly longer distance to go. No, other way around.
Shorter. Yes, due to the fact that the groups were being taken out quite quickly, and there was some lack of interaction with you guys and Brunhilde. That's why I was sent, and tried to help.
Mhm.
I believe that's what we discussed.
Yeah, buddy.
Given the fact
Oh,
that
okay.
they had no idea where we were, and you accidentally managed to find us.
I knew vague direction, and you're not
Ah.
that easy to, not that difficult to find, to be quite honest.
How we'd been out of contact for about a week at that point.
We could get general things because you said that you were heading down to Helvetka, so I was able to know the general area you were in, and then seeing as you went to town.
Rose, stop explaining, because there is no way you actually knew where we were. The explanation you gave is you just went town to town until you bumped into us.
Doesn't matter, Michael. Either way, she found you. Get over
Yes,
it.
that's what I'm saying. Just don't bother explaining.
No.
Just-
You as well. Hush.
If you don't want it explained, don't ask, Michael.
Exactly.
Adventuring party goes to taverns. Hit taverns up, eventually we'll find.
Yep.
Like, that's literally what I was going to say, but it's completely fine. Anyway, Brunhilde, I do have another question. Who's the Belleviles?
Never mind.
Where did you hear that name?
Written on a will.
Or?
His parents.
If I don't know.
Who were your parents, Greytail?
Giuseppe and Petal Grey live just outside the city to the west.
Right.
Is she pulling a face of "oh no" or pleased? How's she looking at the names?
It's mild shock.
No.
The Belleviles were a clan that we were at once at war with
No.
when the northern region was not solely controlled by one clan. They were one of the clans bidding for the rights that we hold. A clan that we sought and thought had been wiped out. The battle to the south of here made sure of that.
And when was that?
The war started about 20 years ago or so.
That's about right.
And they were wiped out when?
It was before my time here, as in my leadership, but I would guess around 10 or so years.
So at about the time that the message would have been sent.
Hmm.
So one of the last acts in power they did is to make sure you got your inheritance.
Apparently.
May I see it?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll hand it over.
She'll walk down the stairs and
Oh.
take it from you and read it over. Oh. I know which estate it is. I was told in my succession that it was to be left alone. I had no idea what its use was, or what it was. She'll hand you the paper back. Interesting.
And who would have told you that? Yes.
My father, who came before. You'll know his name, Henry. I believe you've worked with him once or twice before. Heinrich.
Oh yes, he was a good man. Always was for the right reason. Much like yourself, Brunhilde. We
He
got on well.
he still is a good man, just not.
Or was he still alive?
His
Too many
body
years.
is not as it used to be, given time wears all. But he does what he can for me.
If you don't mind, I would one day like to visit him.
I'm
Like
sure
I
it can
say,
be
he-
arranged after your work's done. Can't see why that
Yes.
wouldn't be a problem, and I'm sure he'd be happy to meet with you. But I assume that you're in planning to enact this parchment.
Yeah.
Good plan.
Did I miss? Who is this woman? This person?
The
Bat.
previous the previous leaders.
The Belleviles, it's the clan name, it's not the first name.
Oh, I thought these were the Skjalls.
Yeah, these are the Skjalls. You're
Yeah.
talking to the Skjalls, but the will was enforced on behalf of the Belleviles, the clan that was at war with the Skjalls that lost. You know,
It's fine.
you know, and do you know the
Skjalls?
Do you know the Battle of the Fang that was to the south of here, where you saw all the ghosts and spirits?
Yeah.
That is the cursed ground where the final battle of this war took place. You would know that, Hailra, because she mentioned the battle to the south.
Hey, Hailra, did you participate in that fight?
Sorry?
The battle to the south? Was that one of the previous?
What year would that be in, Danny?
20 years ago?
To about 20 years ago. No, about
I've
10,
heard-
10 to 15, 10 to 15 years ago.
Oh yeah, definitely would have been involved at that point. I've been in this country about 20, 25 years.
Yeah, and given your current affinity with the Skulls, you probably would have been on the Skull side underpay, yeah.
I might regret asking this question.
Do you reckon that could be?
You didn't fight two tabaxis, did you?
I was going to say, do you reckon that could be a storm?
Did I kill his parents?
I reckon it could be a storm.
Can I
Roll a history check.
Roll a history check.
This is very like Winter Soldier, Daddy. You've done it again. You know, like
No, this is definitely Civil War. If anything, not Winter.
Civil history. Oh God, please be good. I need to know.
Please be good memory. Please allow me to figure that out so I can lie
You
quicker.
do not recall fighting two Tabaxis.
Do you remember fighting one?
She doesn't remember fighting any.
Okay.
Do you remember fighting 3 tabaxis?
One that may have been like a toddler.
That's your memory loss. Hailra hit you in the head.
Really?
Hailra is wearing a tabby cloak, though. That is true, Chairman.
She's wearing the pelt.
Oh, but no.
What happened to your parents, I wonder? Oh, by the way, I really enjoy this cloak.
Excuse me, I wear a leather jacket, so unless your parents are cows, we'll have a different conversation. But anyway, no, I don't believe that I fought Tabaxis. Which side would I have been actually? Technically, Danny, would I have been on his parents' side?
You'd have been on the Skjold side.
Yeah.
My
Right,
parents
which is
would have been on the
against,
others.
which is why the question came up.
Well,
Oh.
you don't know what your parents were. You just know that the will was written like in just like actionable on
Yeah,
by.
I'm assuming because the Belleviols signed the will that
Yeah,
closed with.
essentially,
Actually-
when the will was made, the Belleviles were the ones that like the counts like sort of thing where
Oh, it'd be a
they-
legal thing.
yeah they made it like an official thing because anyone otherwise could write on a bit of paper
Yeah,
so and so
well,
this.
let's see. Then again, their thing was lost, so they wouldn't gain the power. But however, given the fact that it was kept up by
By the new clan.
the
Yeah.
new clan, maybe your parents were actually traitors working for them the entire time.
I was going to say because the way Brunhilde is speaking, it and the way like the residence was told to be left alone, it does seem for some reason, and they are willing to uphold it in some means.
Maybe it
Let's
was a
honour this.
negotiated truce or something. You leave my son alone, we'll let you kill us or something.
Do I remember anything at the time and what was being said about Greytail's parents?
Make
Now that I'm establishing that I
make another history check.
specifically like that kind of thing. Shit. 21.
Rose, I'm going to drag you into a bit of a whispers.
No.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Rose. Shit, she's gone. Rose.
Just chatting
Guys,
for
Rose is broken. She's not
couple of
talking. Need help. Rose.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Hello.
I'm here.
Right. What you do remember, and the reason why I'm pulling you here is because it's up to you whether you wish to be truthful or not.
Mm-hmm.
You remember, towards the climax of the war, you remember overhearing Heinrich had made orders for a young Tabaxi child to be taken to a place of care, along with some documentation and things like that. And you also remember hearing that he had taken some serious and grievous wounds, and had taken a serious head wound in something that had happened. You didn't hear what. And there was mention of upholding certain things and features out of it's a kid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, you do piece together that you wasn't directly involved, but you were aware of other mercenaries in your band were tasked with dropping Greytail off at the orphanage along with the paperwork that he is now holding in his hands. Because some way, somehow, the Skjalls had done something in which Greytail had got severely hurt and was then put under their protection.
I know this is changing things a little bit, and could I have taken him but just forgotten it because it was just another job? Could I have taken him to the orphanage?
Sure.
It'll be an interesting thing.
Sure.
Oh shit, I don't remember. Okay, so he had a serious head wound, seemed to be a little bit dazed and out of it when we took him
And
to...
it is since given that it caused severe amnesia.
So that's why he forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, he was just another job.
Yeah.
And coming to life. Cool, got it. But I didn't kill his parents. I just want to make sure. Like, maybe I trashed the house a little bit. I don't know.
No, you weren't
Maybe...
there. You weren't there. You were in the town, and then when he was brought back, when this kid was brought into town, you took him to the orphanage.
Yeah, cool.
You were not. You were not anywhere of whatever happened. But let's go back up.
I've got no idea what the actual thing is.
There we
I
go.
just love theory crafting.
They have returned.
Ah, they've returned.
Hera, the floor is yours.
Well, that's some
Wow,
dwarf.
that's some pressure.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Rude.
Rose, is the silence intentional?
Hello, I'm here.
Go on.
That's
Okay. I'm going to be honest about something because I want for us all to be friends, and you do understand that sometimes, right? I wasn't there, but I mean, something happened, and Henrik told me that a young child would be arriving in town, and he had suffered grievous wounds, including a head wound, which left him with some amnesia. So I dropped him off at the orphanage with the papers, and he was this little furry thing. I think it might have been you. I forgot.
So I banged my head.
No,
And then
I think your parents were slaughtered in front of you. You tried to run or something. I'm not sure about the actual what happened there. I was in town at the time. I was just told to take you because you were a child and you were completely. What's the best? You're an innocent involved in this, and Heinrich was very particular about that. And to take you to the orphanage and to drop you off with some items. And then, I'm sorry to say it, but you're technically a drop, so I have literally forgotten until today. Which is why I thought it was strange earlier, because I was like, how old are you? Because I was trying to match up times. I apologize for. I don't know how to explain this, really. Are you okay?
Yeah, I suppose. Thank you for looking after me.
It was like an hour tops, and you were just kind of dazed a little bit, like, and just very quiet. And you had these very big paws, and it was quite adorable. You know, like a kitten.
Easy.
Uh,
I am glad, though, that you are okay.
Explains the memory.
Yeah, like you were hit very hard with something. You maybe installed some trauma from that.
Do we
This
know
is-
what happened? Do we know what killed Giuseppe and Petal? Was it part of this battle to the south?
I think so. Danny, I'm guessing that's right.
No.
They were killed.
No, it
mercenaries.
wasn't.
It wasn't. Oh, okay.
That was Brunhilde.
Hmm.
It wasn't.
What was it? Do you need to know?
Do you want to know, Grey?
Yeah. It's not going to change anything.
Your father worked for the Belleviles as one of their main mercenaries for pay. He was, in some retrospects, too good at his job. And my father had had enough and wanted him dealt with. People were sent, and he was dealt with. You were casualty of war, as it were.
Okay. I
What
might
time-
have to leave the room before I do something stupid.
You're dismissed. The rest of you are as well.
Hmm.
Go.
We'll take the sending stone and we'll leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sending stone is eventually getting to you.
I'll give a little bit of a look to Brunhilde, kind of give it like the "I'll see you soon" and I'll keep in touch before rushing out to follow the rest of the group. Is Greytail outside? Do we find him immediately, or is he?
Oh yeah, I go out and stop, and I'm taking a few deep breaths and trying to calm and think and not really know how to process. I don't know if I'm angry or not yet.
Yeah, the people we work for just murdered your family. You just found that out.
Yeah.
And nearly you.
Ultimately, you'll get guidance, so there's other people. Would you like to get fucked up right now?
Let's go check the house, see what's.
Okay.
Okay.
So, with some interesting revelations, you wish to go and check on the grounds that you now own. Allow me to show you.
Ooh.
You'd be coming from the south because you would be taking a western path, and the path will eventually branch upwards. And obviously, it does look a lot more disheveled than what I can do. I'm just limited with resources. Yep. You see a large fenced area. On the left, you can see a well that has been broken and damaged, along with a barn that was probably once a horse paddock. And you can see that there are signs of fighting, but not super intense fighting, but like old. So like you can see like doors and stuff are broken and damaged. You can see a large 3-story home that's made of wood and stone accents, and you can see an unusual extension that was built on the back with slanted tiles and very ornate and decorated wooden accents sticking off it that is just in direct contrast to the rest of the building.
It looks suspiciously Chinese.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Whereas, because I described it as it was Celtic buildings with one building extension that was more of an Asian structural design. But you walk up to these gates and you've got the key wrapped in the cloth and you pull it out, and the head of the key is designed with a set of scales, and it's just a simple metal key other than that, and you put it in and the padlock just falls away and onto the floor and the door. As the metal gates creak open.
Mm.
I'm surprised that would still work after 20 years.
If you need to hire people to clean up this place, we have some good people working for us that I could probably get you in contact with. I don't know if they come all the way across the ocean.
Really not. Kind of like it. It's a bit wild.
But you walk up the gate, and one thing you do notice is on the extension, not anywhere else, but you notice that there's like reflections of bright light shimmering off things.
Greytail.
Yeah.
Do you know when you open the gate, you can walk through it? You don't have to walk up the gate. You can walk up the path. You don't have to walk up it yet. You can come down now.
Yeah. I jump off the top of the gate.
Yeah.
So hang on. You unlock the gate, you open it, climb it, and jump off.
Because you said we walk up the gate.
Path.
I'm trying to clarify
the path.
Why is he walking up the gate?
Wait, that's actually a great idea. Greytail, you like climbing on buildings. You should check for like a secret compartment on top of the roof or something. Like maybe that's a habit from when you were little?
That's literally the first thing I was going to Just climb it.
Yeah, climb the building, jump off it, go for it.
Yeah, and it was climbing the building that you notice that there's light coming from the extension at the back of the building. And you climb up onto the roof and like you kick some of the slates out and smash on the floor below as you just probably damage some of the roof a little bit. And you climb up.
I can fix that.
And you stand on like the first layer, not the full tower at the top. And you take a look around. It looks nice. It looks bit needs a lot of TLC, but it looks nice. The bones are there. Make a perception check. Oh. You can hear the sounds of combat coming from inside the extension on the back where the light's coming from. You can hear the sounds of people fighting.
Okay. I will jump down whatever side the rest of the group is.
Yeah, which is the southern side.
There's someone here and there's fighting. Would I immediately recognize that that's some sort of dojo?
It could be, but any room can be a dojo if you're good enough.
Nice. Yeah, there's some sort of fighting going on around the back. So I'd stay stealth.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you.
Weapons ready.
Do you think some like vagrants have been using this place for some sort of like secret fighting tournament or something because it's been abandoned?
It's Crackden Fight Club.
That was.
It wouldn't surprise me if there were people squatting. So go easy on them.
Everyone else, that on top of Vian and Persephone, roll stealth, unless you're not.
I'm not, but I'm staying further back.
Yeah, you're staying away from the group.
I'm staying enough that I'd be able to...
So, like, as an example, if they're sneaking up to the side here, you're, like, staying over here.
Yeah, in essence, I'm making sure that I am within a distance that I can get to them quickly.
Sprint.
But not that you're affecting their ability to be quiet.
Yes.
Got it.
Basically, like 60 to 90 feet back.
Once they say, right, this area is clear, I then move to...
Yeah, you stay within, like, a sprint, like a 60-foot sprint, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. You all sneak around the side as best as you can. Dia, you need to roll stealth as well. And Hailra.
Hailra BRB'd.
Well.
What I rolled. Let me try again. Hold on.
What I'll do is I'll just say for the moment, Hailra's with you, Evan.
Yeah.
19.
Nice.
See, Greytail. I nearly thought Greytail rolled twice then before I saw the perception. I was like,
I had to read it carefully.
Just to be clear, Danny, mine says 18. It's not, because I've got my character of my reliable talent. By 11th level, you refine your chosen skills. Whenever you make an ability check that adds your proficiency bonus, you can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as add 10.
Right, but
you rolled a 10.
It has. That's the thing.
It's done it.
It rolled a 2, and then it's automatically counted it anyway.
Yeah, it has actually done it. Yeah, because it shows an 18, which is because you've got a +8. So
that's actually quite cool. Sorry.
No, it is. Yeah, the fact that it's done it automatically.
The way it's done is actually
Yeah, nice.
You rolled a 2, which is actually a 10, by the way.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But what it is, you can see some reflections of like flame light, like candles or like oil lamps or something, coming from like through the windows. The windows are like mosaiced and frosted, so there's like a pattern to them. Not like a specific pattern, just more like waves and stuff. So it's like, while they are transparent, they are very hard to see through. So unless you're right up them, you can't really see them, but you can see the light coming through. And you can see like a a large set of sliding doors that are currently shut at the moment. But again, because the doors are extremely thin, you can see like light coming through them.
So I will slightly open the doors so there's a crack that I can peer through as quietly as possible.
Make another stealth check. Okay,
I like that. Well done.
that's really fucking good, yeah. You actually see like a series of like straw men that have been set up and there's about 15 of them or so at the moment that you can see like filling the room. And I don't have a map for this, so you'll just have to theatre of the mind it. So they're in like two little clusters, like surrounding, and you can see some of them are jolting and like as they're being hit, and you can hear the sounds of like someone making strikes. You can hear the like the noises people make when they throw punches and kicks and shit.
Yeah.
This is some Candyman stuff, man. Going on here. It's dangerous.
It's sounding more. Actually, it's sounding more and more like we've just found the Karate Kid. This is the school of Giuseppe Doe.
But as you do see some of these like straw figures being like hit and like knocked, as you like peeled the door slightly, one of them just gets hit with a lot of force and just get not like coming at you or anything, so you ain't gonna like shit yourself, but like it does like almost like a backflip as this thing just goes flying backwards, and you lock eyes with the person who's just done it as you see my description. You see a pair of green eyes staring back at you, and you see dark black hair, and the man's wearing like greys and blues as he responds to you, as he like calls out to you, as not responds to you, as he calls out to you, because like he has seen you.
Yeah. I open the door.
Hey, wise guy, what you doing in my dojo? Thought I'll kick your teeth in.
Is this a joke or is this real?
No, that's real.
Oh, okay. The name's Greytail. I've inherited this place. Who are you?
Giuseppe Gray. Come here, let me have a look at you. Who are you?
Side. Where is it? Okay.
What are
Is
you
he telling
inside?
the truth? Is he?
Well, as
he's
you
claiming to be Giuseppe Gray.
Well, as you take a few steps in, one thing you do notice is that the form of this person claiming to be Giuseppe is slightly incorporeal. This is not a physical person in the natural sense.
It's a ghost.
It's the ghost of Father's Mist.
It's a fucking false ghost.
Kind of, just without the blue tinge.
Yeah. You're Giuseppe Gray.
As I live at, oh, not that, but here, yeah.
Francesco Gray, and I gesture to myself.
Francesco? Frankie? Is that you?
Oh, no. I hate the lot of you.
Hey,
I told you I'd make you rue the day, Matt. I told you I'd make you rue the day. And as like you start raising your voice, Giuseppe, you'll hear a shout through. What's going on, honey? Has something happened again?
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, come down. It's our boy. Come down here.
What, Frankie's home? And you'll see like come running through and in, you'll see a yellow-eyed, grey fur with leopard markings, another tabaxi in a similar disposition. She'll be like, no, Frankie? Is it really you? Honey.
Hi, Mom.
Oh my God, Frankie, I'm so glad you're home. And she will just come running up and she will hug you. It's not perfect because some parts go through you, but some are physical. It's very, very weird. Oh my God, you've grown up to be so handsome. Frank, Giuseppe, look at him. Isn't he so cute?
All the ladies must be tripping over to get to him.
Oh,
Got a lady friend?
he's got 2 of them with him right now. Frankie, who are your friends?
Oh, no. He's actually, and I push Deer forward.
Hello.
No. I'm just glad Boomer's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
He's not coming now.
Yeah.
Well, I
He's
mean,
actually what? Is he? Oh, we had an Uncle Louis like that. It's okay if that's what you like.
I mean, as long as you're happy, Frankie. I mean, we're glad to see that you're okay. We've been waiting so long for you to come home. I even made you your favorite gumbo shrimp.
Does sound nice.
Got so much to know.
I'd say-
What
I was gonna say,
happened?
the slight message on the side of your, the slight message you get on the side of your head, Greytail, if you need it, the one that might be in chat.
So please, no. Giuseppe, you've got to stop training right now. We've got to take him in. We got to make him dinner.
Hello, stop training. I'm talking with you, talking to our boy, of course.
Well, yeah, come on, baby. Let's go. Let's go make him some dinner. I'll make enough for all of your friends, too.
Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you. He's so
Cass,
loved in
Cass, come in.
Yeah, he's so loved in the group. He's so loved with us.
Well, it's so good. I'm glad to see you're making friends, Frankie. I remember back when you was a little kitten, you used to get into all sorts of trouble with some of your friends. It's good that you're making some now.
Yeah. Yes, Francie.
Come on, this way. I'm gonna put some dinner. And
Okay.
Come on, let's go. I'll get some chairs. Come on.
Come on, guys. Come on. We've got dinner coming.
Is that everybody? So your group inside?
I lean my head out and call for Hilra and Evan.
Yeah, we've just been stood like
about 60 foot away, wondering what's going to happen if we need to come charging in.
Yeah, you two are ready, weapons at the ready.
Yeah, we've got Hannah's got a weapon and a shield out, and then as Jan sticks her head out, just goes, "What's happening?" I'll message her. What's happening?
I don't
They're
know.
making us food.
Sorry?
Yeah, come and join us. It's fun.
They're offering some food.
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently, the house is haunted.
You shout out the doorway to us.
House haunted. They're offering us food. Come on in.
Frankie, there's no way to talk about your parents.
Sorry.
Might be incorporeal, but still here. Come on, boy.
How how is this a thing?
Because you didn't write a backstory, Matt. I said I would make you regret everything.
You forgot, didn't you?
Next campaign, backstory up, people. Massively backstory up.
Yeah.
This could be one of you.
Okay. I'm telling you now.
One.
I'll tell you now, Matt. If you ever do this in my campaign, I will never be this cruel.
Yeah, oh, I know.
But yeah, Howard will kind of look at Evan for a second and then give a shrug and walk towards the doors.
But yeah, and despite what you'd have expected, a house that's been 15 years unlived in, it's actually rather clean inside. It's maintained to some basic degree. As in, it's not dusty, it's not dirty. Like, things that have broken can't be repaired because there's no access to materials to fix. But it's kept as good as it can be. It's actually surprisingly modest. It's something you would have expected like a pauper's house to look like, where things like bodge jobbed and stuff. But it's definitely nowhere near as bad as you would have expected.
It hasn't been 15 years since it's been lived in, but it's been 15 years of being dead in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Could have been worse.
But no, Frankie, we've been waiting for so long to get you home. The problem is we can't leave the grounds, honey, so we couldn't come and find you. And after everything that happened, we were just hoping you'd be okay, and it seems you've grown up really well. It seems that you found the will that we left you.
Yeah. I was taken to the orphanage in town.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Eventually,
look
I got.
after you there? They feed you well?
I wasn't. Bit of memory loss. Bang on the head. Apparently, they looked after me quite well. But I then left and kind of just done the old adventurer work.
You hear that, honey? He's following like you, beautiful. See, he's becoming an adventurer.
Do you have a right hook like your pa? Show as you want to. What you got?
Okay. Is he doing the sparring hands up thing?
Yeah.
As good as you can do, yeah.
Yeah, it's good as a ghost can.
Yeah.
Punch your dad in the face. Go on.
Wait, careful.
How
Your fists
dare
are
you
magical.
die? Yeah, I know. You can really feel it.
Solid.
It's magical as well, so we will feel it.
Oh god, yeah, so actually where it would have passed through the form, no, it will actually hit you, and it will technically deal your hand 9 points of damage.
It's quite a punch. Well done, boy.
I've been practicing.
You learn a few things from your pa.
You see, the training lessons, I said they were too intense, but it looks like they worked a little bit. I mean, at least the ones that you could do.
Picked up a few things.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of both of yous. And she will give kisses on the cheeks to both Francisco and Giuseppe.
Frankie.
And just for a reference, you've noticed that you've gained the fur colouring from your mother, and you notice although Giuseppe is mostly black furred, you can see a very slightly different shade of black, the tabby markings of yours, through his fur underneath.
Are these clearly ghosts, Danny?
They... From a distance, no, but on closer inspection, yes. They are, all intensive purposes, undead. Just very, very mildly so.
So is this just one of those normal things that, like, they say it like it's a thing that happens, and I have no idea what's going on because I'm a little
This
confused?
will be one of those statements eventually. Give it a couple of weeks.
I have no idea what's going on.
And Petal will kind of grab your hands, Grey, and look at your hands a second and go, Giuseppe, he ain't... Where's the signet ring? Where's the family ring?
They must have took it off me when I got whacked.
Oh, honey. I thought it was going to be left for him as well.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Maybe that's why we're here. If you ain't got it, that's what I remembered before. You know, I just wanted him to have the ring.
I'm checking now whether or not I can do locate objects.
Okay.
That's it. Also, was I told about a ring at all when I dropped Greytail off? Like, was a ring in the items?
Nope.
It wasn't. I'll say this to Greytail, and I'll just go. When you were dropped off, it wasn't within the pack.
The only thing that was given was the papers and the key.
Yeah, I'll pass the information over. As in, you just had the letters, the will, and the key, and you obviously. That was it.
Okay.
Wait, so You were the one that took Frankie?
I didn't take him. That sounds like really negative. Just when he got to town, I made sure he was looked after.
Right. Well, that's what I meant. Like, after the men came, you were the one that took him?
Yes.
Hey, DM, do I recognise this broad?
Bro,
Oh, roll for me. I can't.
that was
Don't worry,
great.
it's not like I've got stats.
That was great. I'm just gonna roll a d20 for you. No, the natural
Nope.
one. No, the fuck you don't.
No. It could. I don't recognise the pedal, so it could be.
Right, right.
I don't think I was the one who killed you, just so you know. I was not here.
Oh,
I would like to...
know, honey. We know you wasn't.
No, it was Heinrich and his goons. Like we know that.
No, I'm Dia. She's not Dia. I'm Dia. Hello.
Oh, your name's Dear, honey?
Yes, his name is
Yeah.
Dear. He keeps
Just ignore him.
anytime you mention the word dear, just note he's probably going to say something about
All right,
it.
no, that's fine.
That's making
Oh.
sure people we don't know what's going on. Yeah. Just in
No,
case. You know.
From now on-
nobody cares.
From now on, if we ever need to refer to you, we will say your full name, okay? So if you
I
don't
know
hear
my
your
full name.
full
That's the
name,
problem.
Isn't it dancing with a mane in the rain, dear, or something? I think, or along those lines.
Nothing reindeer.
Nobody
yeah. So unless we say
cares.
that, we're not referring to you.
Yeah.
And you're the one that's now with Frankie?
Yeah.
Yes.
What? No, 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 no.
Oh,
We're together, aren't we? Look, we're both in the same room.
Oh
Wait.
god.
Not like that.
I feel significantly more awkward now because the dancing and everything. I didn't realize. I apologize.
Oh,
So sorry.
right.
Is this signet ring important?
Well, it was the
To move the
family.
conversation.
It was the family ring. It was passed through many generations, and your father was meant to give it to you when you were old enough.
Does the image or whatever it is of the undead actually still have like the ghostly image of the signet ring still wearing, or
No. Giuseppe's hands are clean of any metal bars and bandings.
okay? Do you have a portrait or anything where we can see where the ring
Well, I thought so.
Well, I think we might have at least one of the pictures in the rooms. Giuseppe, maybe. We'll have to have a look. I don't remember too well.
I can potentially try to use magic to find the ring if we go near it.
Did you hear that, Giuseppe? You might be able to find the ring.
You gotta be aware. I don't think it's on the grounds that they would have those bastards would have taken it with them.
That's what I can look. Well,
What does it look like?
well, that's why I want the image.
The picture. Yes.
And
Well, I
then-
can
What's
tell
the
you.
image on
I
the
can
spell?
tell you what it looks like.
This spell works a lot better with the specifics. So if I've actually seen the ring,
I'll go and have a look. Giuseppe, please talk to Frankie. Catch up with the boy. See what he's been up to in all these years. I'm gonna go and take a look for a picture.
It might be one of those portraits. You know, we got.
I'll check the album, honey. Don't you worry. And she will leave and start going to look for some imagery of the ring for you.
So, Frankie, you and this deer, was it? Not together. Then.
No.
Okay. Deer, I don't think I've met a tabaxi like you. Do you lick your coat? Doesn't look like it, but
I don't answer. He didn't use my full name.
You dear, dancing reindeer. She's on about.
Sorry. Oh, what did you say? Sorry.
saying, do you wash yourself? Do you like? Frank clearly does. Clearly licks his coat, but do you?
I do, yeah. Me and I have a bath, then they just try to make me wash my hands. I mean, how do you wash?
Like he licks like his paw, like.
Yeah, see, that's how I do it, and that's how I'm doing it wrong.
But are there mushrooms growing on me, or was that a meme?
What?
And there's mushrooms growing in his fur, right? That's
Yeah.
been established.
Yeah.
Being current.
He has like fungal spores on him.
You shouldn't be having all those fungi on your fur like that. Like that's.
One guy.
That's where magic
Love-
comes from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they call them magic mushrooms.
So, Frankie, is there anyone special in your life then, or is it just this gang here?
Too busy for special, but I travel with this lot. We do some good work.
Yeah, getting some scrapes like your old pa.
Yeah. Killed a. We won a fighting tournament against a Yeti. That was pretty fun.
And he landed the killing blow against a dragon.
It was coming to that.
He is very skilled with his fists.
Don't forget the Remoraz Grey as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got my list.
He's just got a notebook where everybody else takes player notes. He just takes murder notes.
No, I take.
Killing
Yeah,
blow
so
list.
I get out some of the trophies. So I've got a horn from the Yeti, a fang from the Remoraz, something from the assassin.
Wait, I will dig into my backpack and pull out a bunch of slarty. These two, those get the slot.
Displace a beast alpha claw and green dragon scales.
Yeah, so Giuseppe, you see Francisco here producing a number of trophies, sizable ones as well. Like the claw from the Displacer Beast Alpha. He's like it's the size of a small stiletto dagger. It's pretty impressive. And the teeth and claws and stuff are pretty fucking sizable.
Just sort of nods saying, nice. Yeah. Racked up quite a kill count there.
There
It
were
is
others,
not
but they weren't worth taking trophies from.
So
you
what?
don't, Ray. You don't just kill. He helps protect all of his friends. He is a well-accomplished fighter, and I think without him, we would be at a severe disadvantage in most battles.
That's
He would.
good to hear. That's my boy.
I found one. I think I found one.
Come on, Bella, let's have a look.
What's your name again, honey? I'm sorry.
Evan.
Evan. Well, here, take a look at this. And it's a small, like locket, but it's like palm size. It's like pocket watch sized, but it doesn't have like mechanisms in. It's just pictures. And you can see that there's a very well done painting, at least as good as it can be done for that scale, of the two, like with like Petal on the left, Giuseppe on the right, and they're both cradling a small kitten. And you can kind of see the left hand of Giuseppe, and there's a ring on the middle finger.
Okay. Do I get enough to be able to kind of pick out any kind of detailing on this?
What you can see is like this thick silver sovereign-esque ring with, but instead of like a metal plate, it's jade that's been carved, and you can see the same symbol that's on the key, a symbol of a set of scales.
Okay, so jade signet ring. Yeah, so
Just
jade signet ring.
I'll put it
with
in the chat.
Has any of us seen this ring before? Like, does Brunhilde wear it, or anyone else that we've seen in and about town?
Make a history check.
You've got the best chance. You've interacted with the family a lot.
Yeah, but I'm not great at history. 6.
I'm pretty familiar with signet rings. Would I have been keeping an eye on those?
I'll allow it, but the DC is going to be higher, naturally.
Oh yeah, just like in general, it's like every time I see a person, I'm just like, oh, that's curious, kinda.
Okay, I'll make a history check to see if I remember Brunhilde over wearing it, but that's
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've probably seen so many, it's hard to specifics, but I've probably just still seen a lot of
No,
them.
I get the perspective you're going at. Vian, you maybe have seen rings like it, but whether it was the ring, you don't know. It is a hard ask, given, like you say, just how it's hard to remember such a silly detail on someone when you meet them. Evan, you're confident that you don't remember Brunhilde ever wearing such a ring? And Hera, obviously, you are currently minor. You're slightly overwhelmed and just entirely unsure.
Yeah, it's been so long since I interacted with any of this stuff, so maybe.
As far as you're aware, the chapter of the Beliviles and the employ of, that's like it's a long dealt with.
Yeah, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, kind of deal.
Yeah, the war started about 20 years ago, and has only realistically in about the 10-15 years actually officially been ended.
So, if we get this signal ring, are you saying this is your unfinished business?
It was one of them. We wanted to make sure that Frankie got home safe and had everything that was coming to him.
It's one of those things.
In a nice way. I don't mean that in like the he's got what's coming to him way. He's got what he deserves sort of way.
Yeah, just make sure it's
Still sounds like a threat.
Okay, I'm gonna. There is a slight whisper in Elvish of just like, oh yeah, he got that too.
Yeah, there's a very slight nod that maybe only Evan would pick up on because literally he's just spoken to me. Don't worry, I know completely.
We've just said about him dying, so yes, he did get what got to him technically.
Oh no, it was more so something else, but that's fine. I'll talk to Evan about it later, and maybe Greg got something right there.
I say it in Elvish. I don't know if they can speak it, and it's more of just I forgot and just spoke in my own language for a moment.
Perception check. Is there a Marut nearby?
Depends what level Monkey is.
He probably recognizes
in sort of PC level, Giuseppe is probably about a 15.
So probably.
Level does he get? Comprehend language. Cool.
I think you'd already have that, to be honest.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
if
probably.
you already have it, then he has it.
Yeah, I've not got it yet.
Pedal wouldn't, but Giuseppe probably would have if he heard it. But I'd imagine at the minute they're more occupied.
Yeah.
Why does it have scales? Why the symbol of scales?
Well, it's the family symbol. It represents balance and everything your father and his grandfather and their fathers before that. They always had that what's that saying, honey? With you give to get or something like that, or power. No, that was it. Power given in kind always returns in kind.
Yeah, well, it's the way I taught you. Like the ever-eternal power of chi, we channeled that. You see, and on one side you got to balance the other side. It's the power, power of our house, power of our family.
Yeah. The signet ring did the same too, as well. It helped. It was a way of connecting your ancestors. I think it's still, unless something happened to it, it should still have some of your father's power in it.
Yeah.
Am I not already in contact with my ancestors? Seeing as you're still here.
You literally just look at them and go, yeah.
Well, we mean more the chi. I'm sure I left some juice in it when I passed away, you see, and you can harness that in combat.
Yeah. And if we're talking mechanically speaking, it's a way to get you more key points and other cool shit to use when you're in a fight.
Mom just opens the DMG.
And I'm sorry, honey, I don't remember anymore because I don't want to spoil the surprise for when you get it.
Okay.
My mind's a little patchy because the Sky God told me don't say no more. But I snuck a little in extra anyway.
Yeah, I'm good. Your ma is to you.
What?
He said, see how good your ma is to you?
And he just tunes back in like that wasn't out of character. It's like, sorry, that.
I'm struggling with the accent.
It's very kind of like
Oh yeah, no,
mob-esque.
it's what?
Slightly mobbish. Do you know what I mean in terms
It's
of?
It's yeah.
we've gone
New
we
York.
went Italian New Yorker, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we got that.
And to be fair, I think it's great.
It's brilliant.
And it's about this
Yeah.
point, like I think the kettle's ready, and so let me pour the tea, and she'll pour the tea and like give you some guys some drinks. It's in simple cups, and you'll notice that they are to very limited extents, like with the pocket watch with the imaging and things. They are able to manipulate the physical world, but it's sometimes inconsistent in the sense that sometimes, like, you'll notice when she goes to get like the third or fourth cup, she's like, "Oh shit, come on, don't play these games with me." And then after about 2 or 3 attempts, she'll be able to get it. Like sometimes they can, and then like it turns off and then comes back on. It's issuesome.
So,
Out of good.
no, I was gonna say something. You go first.
I was just gonna cast Purify Food and Drink on the food and drink to see how make sure it wasn't ghost food.
Well,
It was green tea. It now is just boiling water.
that's it. It gets rid of
tea not good
poisons
enough
and
for
stuff.
you?
It's poisons and disease. Tea isn't a disease.
Depends on who you ask.
Aw.
Those pesky Americans in hating that tea.
You say to the American that was actually defending tea.
Yeah. I know, but no. It's there's nothing wrong with it. It's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Just more out of like Fienne's confused and cautious, so she's just like.
Oh no, I
"Let's-
can almost feel the
let's-"
recoilment of this shouldn't be okay, but it kind of is. Something's wrong.
People just keep saying insane things like they're normal, and at a certain point, I'm just like, okay.
I can just feel that like this shouldn't be okay, but it is. Why?
There is a little bit of whiplash happening by certain members of the party. I feel like, what the fuck?
I'm just wondering how hard I hit my head 20 years ago.
Well, no, honey, and she'll kind of like just like stroke the side of your head. You didn't hit your head. No, it was the people. They did it.
It was Heinrich in school. You did well. Like you fought them off, and you just got hit in the head.
Well, I mean, you did kick that one in the bollocks, and that was kind of funny, honey. But yeah,
To his balls, yeah.
Classic.
How big were you to be able to fight grown men and kick them in the bollocks at 4 years old?
It was a
I have a climb speed. I just climbed up his trousers.
well, no, he more just kind of punched him, like, but
yeah.
he did try to kick him. Like, you did your best, honey, but
Yeah.
you no, it's okay. Don't blame yourself for anything.
Again, like I failed you. They shouldn't have come to the house. I'm sorry, my boy.
No, it's not your fault, Giuseppe. We always knew the Scowls were up to no good.
So
Yeah.
moving on, I realize we haven't made introductions to the rest of your group. Like, I'm Giuseppe. This is Pedal. Who are you?
I introduced myself. Well, as I said before, my name is Evan.
Yeah.
Fienne.
Bien.
I'm Dia.
No, you're reindeer. I'm Persephone.
Pleasure.
Hera.
Seems you. Oh, go on, honey.
There's one of us missing, Boomer. He is. I hear a mysterious noise from somewhere else.
And is he all right?
No.
Oh, did something happen to him? Is that why he's not with you?
He's
No,
never been.
he's fine. He's just
Oh,
a
that's
little
good.
weird.
No,
Like I say,
that's good.
He's working out flawed issues in his relationship at the moment.
Oh, I see. I remember
Yeah.
those times. But you said you've been doing adventuring work. So where have you been working, Frankie?
All over. There's a cult of wizards that we're looking into.
Called a wizard, you say? That sounds dangerous work. And are you doing it for yourself or is someone asking you?
They've taken a friend. We're trying to get her back.
Those
see.
kind of
Okay.
spellcasters have no honor. You don't. What's wrong with your two fists? Just
Exactly. Magic is cheating.
yeah.
Okay. Over the.
I mean, it's all fancy
Right.
finger work and no punch.
Yeah, as soon as you close in close, bam! You get them in the jaw. They're gone.
Problem is getting in close.
Yeah,
No,
well,
not a problem.
that's where chi comes in.
Hey, I keep them distracted for you, honey, and then you just give them the old one to buckle their shoe.
Yeah.
Are you a magic user, ma'am?
Oh no, I'm no magic user, honey, but let's just say I've got a particular set of skills that usually makes a lot of people a bit useless when they need to be.
Oh. How so?
Aside for a moment, this is more Michael speaking. Oh my god, your mum's a stripper.
Well, there we go.
Look, let's just say I have a knack for voices and different instruments, and I can usually put on something to distract them.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, she's
yeah.
far.
Stripper.
Yeah.
Bad.
Okay. Another thing is I'm starting to get a little bit suspicious. I'm gonna use a divine sense.
Right.
So I detect the
Fiend,
presence of-
Fey, Aberration,
well,
Undead.
No, just celestial fiend or undead and hallowed ground. Not
Yeah,
ground touched by the hallowed ground.
Right.
in the other one. He has to pass
Yes,
divine
yes,
sense.
yes. You obviously pick up Undead because you're talking to two of them. You don't pick up any more. There's no other... And what's the radius this is?
60 feet.
Yeah, you don't pick up any more within the 60-foot radius. And you do notice that the ground is...
Affected with the hallow spell?
No, but the opposite. It's actually got some levels of protection on the ground.
That's what the hallow spell does. But
Oh, yeah. Ignore me.
Hallow's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, hallowed or well, it can be consecrated or desiccated.
That was the thing. I
desecrated.
thought it was only the one way it could work.
Nope.
It is. It is consecrated ground slightly, very, very faint. It's like barely there, but it is there.
The main thing is making sure that it's like, oh no, it's the two undead members of your parents. They look slightly wavy. That gives rise to the illusion. But nope, if they are
Yeah.
undead, that's perfect.
No, they are undead figures entirely.
So, do we go back to town and look for this ring?
Well, I can't find it at the moment. I'll need some time to.
What's the
really
range on your spell?
1,000 feet.
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay. That's a mile, I believe, isn't it?
About
Yeah,
2/3 of a mile.
We're a little bit out of town here, so
Yeah, I won't be able to
Enough
find. Yeah, I would say I won't be able to find it until I get time to
Wait,
focus on.
what time of day is it right now?
You
late
met.
afternoon.
Yeah, because you met with Argyle on the morning. Then, obviously, doing all that. Then you went to the black market. Then to Penelope. Then to Orphanage Brunhilde here. Yeah, I'd say it's probably mid to late afternoon.
Just wanted to check that we weren't in the middle of the night.
No,
That's fine.
you will be if you stay any longer.
And damn it, Rose, you've now got that song stuck in my head.
I love that
If-
song.
if you want some hints, like I reckon that dog Heinrich took it when he killed me. Like he, avarice, greed, he would have taken it.
It's a question that I need to wonder with you just saying about dogs. How defensive are you if somebody calls you a cat? Because he is extremely.
Don't you
murderous.
call us a kid, honey.
Oh,
No.
I
We're-
figured that, but
we're
it's
to-
Not in my
amazing.
house.
It's amazing.
We
to watch
don't
him
say
fight.
those words in here unless you have an actual cat. We're tabaxi.
I figured that, but you would be proud of the degree of fury he radiates if somebody were to call him a cat.
A
Good.
lot of black eyes.
We're proud people. Why doesn't no
I
one
mean-
say They're small-looking, tabaxi-looking motherfuckers. They don't say that.
Well,
Thank you.
it's or if you're called like a human, a naked mole rat or something. It ain't
Yeah.
not.
I'm fully aware. It's just
No, but we're just talking about in general. Like
yeah.
when you're talking about a little kitty cat, you're talking about the little fuckers on 4 legs, not us.
Mhm.
Oh my
It's
God.
like he's an elf. It's like calling him a pixie. You won't. Am I calling you a pixie right now?
Everybody, just before tensions rising even more, I do believe we could probably head back to town so we can get dressed before finding
Wait,
the
so
signal.
you're not gonna stay for dinner?
Oh, your mom makes a great big ziti. Why? Could stay.
You and all your friends can stay as long as you need, honey. I'll make as much as we can.
Well, if we want to, well, we can't can't look for the ring till tomorrow.
Wow.
Do we have any more business in town? Don't you need to prep?
Yeah,
So-
I'll need to prep for
I
casting.
mean, we can do that at the house.
I
so
am
if it's-
there. Yeah. I don't know if that was a slip of the tongue, but I am very much suddenly very focused on Giuseppe.
If you're on about the elf thing,
Which
yes,
bit?
it was a slip.
It was a slip.
Yeah.
Good.
So he doesn't know. Okay, yeah, because
I was very
No,
much
no,
like,
no.
how the fuck does this guy know that I'm
No,
there?
no. I think it was
had a
more.
laugh.
I think it was more referring to because I think like
He
Persephone.
said, I'd say, he said he's an elf, and the
Ah,
only elf.
no,
here
ignore
is-
that. Ignore that.
The
That
only
that.
elves are
No,
ladies.
no.
Don't worry about that. That's just me.
Okay, I just had a moment of just like,
God damn it, Giuseppe!
let's
You
say,
called him the wrong. You called her the wrong thing.
I think I wanted to go back to town. I was like, oh God, this is going to go
I was saying, I'm sorry, Great. I was nearly at the point of sorry, Greytail, but I got to re-murder your parents. They know too much.
Then
Sorry,
how's that?
Peril. They look the same. I'm sorry.
Okay, now that's racist.
Wow.
only known your dad 10 minutes and already in an argument with him.
And Petal will slap Giuseppe on the arm. Giuseppe, what'd you say there for?
Something got me riled up. Like my tail's all bushy now. I don't like the cat thing.
Look, I'm bushy too, okay, but it's gonna be fine. They were talking about how other people say. They weren't calling it us, right?
Of course.
No, they know better.
Yeah.
Good.
It was
There we
just.
go.
See, our boy Frankie here has been looking after him.
Yeah.
He's been teaching him right.
And Giuseppe will whisper to Pale, like, Pale, do we have anything to make food?
I mean, we've got some, like, rain and stuff that lasted, but most of it's gone bad.
Yeah, I feel like we just offered out a habit.
I mean, the tea's always been good, and that's why I did it, but it's mostly just the rice and the pasta that's left.
We have,
Yeah.
sorry, James.
I love how the private whispered conversation, all of us are like, we could jump in, like, we do have food.
Oh, no, like, no, they are doing it in front of you.
Yeah, we're all like, okay, but we do have food we could just eat.
Yeah,
It is,
but you're in our
Frankie.
house, and we should look after you.
Yeah, guest rights, hospitality. No one says the great family don't do that.
Well, nobody says that. We literally didn't hear that. But anyway, would you
Yeah.
like to say?
What was that, Rose? Say that again, please.
So Hera's asking Gray if he wants to stay. She's leaving it in his house.
Yeah, we can stay the night. I'd like a wander around. That's okay. Look at the training area.
Well, it's your home. Giuseppe can show you around the training grounds, and I can show you around the house anytime you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go have a look at the training room.
I mean, given how we are now, honey, it's your house. So, sweetie, you take as much time as you need. Have a look around, get used to the place, because you're going to have to make it look pretty. Especially if you're going to bring home some ladies, you hear me?
Yeah.
Of course he is,
Sure.
Pale. Look at that face.
Oh, I'm looking, honey. He's gonna be a lady killer, that's for sure.
Gets his hands on
Yeah,
the
like
solo
his old
death.
pal, eh?
Yeah, just like you, Giuseppe. Mwah.
Okay, awkward.
And you've just had your first embarrassing parent moment.
Yes.
It's like you're getting all of it and condensed into one afternoon.
Mm.
Yay.
Matt, what have we learned?
Write a backstory.
I'm loving this because it's working exactly as intended.
Matt,
It's
start your
everything my
backstory.
black bot wanted.
I've got the perfect balance of like recoilment from Matt that I was hoping for. It's great.
It's insane, Danny. It is literally insane.
But it's so funny.
Yeah, like spot on.
Right, well, I'm gonna get cracking on with dinner. You people, please make yourselves comfortable and explore and learn about the house and about the Great Grey family. Giuseppe can look after you.
Yeah.
And Giuseppe, Sky God told me you've got free reign to make shit up if it's applicable.
Fuck.
That's good to know. Good to know.
Oh,
It's
do you have
big
any
health,
embarrassing
lots of
stories about when he
memories.
was little?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, we got
Yes.
plenty of those, and we got plenty of time to talk about them.
Right, I'm getting a notepad and pen for this. Go for it.
Yeah.
You'll invent the pen just so you can make a note.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I will. So we're going for something. We're going for a bit more of a fancy meal. We're hoping, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll do it best as I can.
How far were we away from town, Danny?
About an hour.
By horse?
Walk.
No.
Oh.
By horse, how long? Especially war horse.
Probably 15-20 minutes at most, maybe.
I'll make a trip into town for some food.
If you could do that, we'd be so grateful, and then I'd be able to put on some really. Bring back some fish, and she'll start going off like. And then if you get yourself some eggplant and get some cucumber and carrot, and she'll just give you like some ideas.
Yeah, but like I say, Persephone's just pulled out like the notepad and everything, and I'm just like, I'll need a page and the pen, thank you.
It's like, do you remember the time, Giuseppe, that when I was gonna cook one of the fish that you caught for us, and Frankie, when he just started learning to walk, took off with it and was running around the house with it dangling out his mouth, and he kept tripping over the tail of the fish, and it was so funny. It took Leading an hour to get it back from him because he climbed up onto the roof of the seat, and it was such a mess.
Yeah, get all those fish flakes over his little whiskers. Oh.
Wow, he still does that now?
Yeah, your tuchus was mighty dirty after that. You had all scales everywhere.
Yeah. Do you remember that time when he climbed up the tree to get that bird nest and he nearly broke his paw?
Yeah, he got stuck up there for nearly 3 hours. And then when he decided to come down, he didn't jump properly.
Yeah.
And that's why you started teaching him early.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to learn how to land right.
Oh,
Evan, do you want company? Do you want company? Come on.
Well, we can do that.
Evan, I can make it there and back a lot quicker.
No. You need to spend time with your parents.
You go stay here. Your friend's taking care of it.
Also, also the whole story about learning to jump properly. I mean, he's learned it now, but I do know one incident where he really didn't.
Oh, didn't he?
That cart was broken before I got there. Okay, it was broken just after I got there. It wasn't my fault.
Okay, I think I got the list. I think we're all good.
Yeah, you've essentially been given a list of like a recipe that Petal usually cooks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Evan if he's okay with that. This is insane. I can't stay here. Yeah.
Okay, we leave the If we're both going, I'm leaving the armor because but both of us in heavy armor is going to break this horse's back.
I'm not in heavy armor, but okay.
But
She's
okay,
in a leather jacket.
I thought you. Well,
No, we've had this discussion a few times because we've always thought that. Yeah.
I've only got and a leather jacket.
Okie dokie. We should be fine then. It's about to say it's more
Yeah.
the fact that I'm wearing I'm wearing adamantine armor, so.
But, you,
yeah.
but do you, so do you still take the time to dismantle and take off?
Yeah, I probably would, just for the sake of.
All right. So yeah, it takes about 10 minutes to get ready. And then obviously you two set out. I'm assuming you guys want to have a quick discussion, and we'll follow that conversation before going back to the house.
So, this is when we are far enough away and we're like making our way back to town.
Uh-huh.
As soon as we finish our unfinished business, they're gonna right.
Sorry, what?
As soon as we finish the unfinished business, so he has his ancestral home and the signet ring, they will go, right?
Potentially.
Yeah, that's going to be awkward.
Probably.
I mean, what the fuck? It's not right that the undead, right? You know
Yep.
more about this. You're a fucking paladin.
Yes, they're undead.
Yeah, right. I mean, I only know a death cleric, and they're more about raising them up and all that kind of stuff. But
Yes, they're not fun. They're more about
This
making
is-
more undead than getting rid of them.
I'm a little worried. I don't know if you are as well, but this will, if it is that Heinrich has that ring, we are going to be in a very difficult position.
More than likely. I did probably want to ask exactly what their side of the story was, but
I hate to say it, but it is just land changing hands. This has happened for certainly throughout my lifetime.
throughout mine as well.
What happens, especially in this country, they are very quick to slaughter their fellow man in terms of land.
Mm-hmm.
You know, reasons. I mean, they literally took someone off a seat of power because she did not pay her due.
Uh-huh. That's the way the system of power has to go sometimes.
It tends to be, and I hate to use this terminology, but humans, they do it quite a bit.
Yes, well, the Mayflies do have their problems.
Hera just kind of cocks her head slightly, and I'm imagining that she's behind him on the horse, and just kind of plays around, leaning. Mayflies?
Yeah, the short-lived humans. They barely last long enough, and then gone. Mayflies.
Why do I know this?
Give it a minute.
Sorry?
That was more Michael making a comment, and through Evan was saying, "Give it a minute."
Yeah, and she kind of sits there and they're quiet, I imagine, for a few seconds, and then she goes, "Wait, stop the horse! Just stop it for 1 second."
We stop.
You said Mayfly, and I've heard you speak Elvish. Is this another one of those things where you're about to drop something really heavy and make out like it's fine?
I mean, I am this body is the new occupant of the soul of an elven warrior that's lived nearly 800 years and was murdered so others could gain power, alongside his best friend, who has now been kidnapped. Hera's mind exploded, or she had a heart attack?
She just kind of looks at you a little bit, and for what? Because usually she's quite got a schooled, expression and everything, but it just all falls apart, and she just goes, and she'll just literally walk over to him and poke him in the cheek a little bit just to make sure he's real.
Well, more like a reach around because you're on a horse.
No, she stopped the horse.
Oh, yeah.
What? You are 1800. 800 years old. I mean, that would make sense. And it
Mhm,
would make sense of why you are so attached to Cass if you'd both been murdered.
mhm.
Why does it all make sense?
You're kind of whisper muttering, Rose.
Oh, sorry. She probably does that a little bit and then goes, oh,
Yeah, I know. I'm fully
I do-
expecting you to do that, but your mic was not agreeing with it.
I just, it makes quite a lot of sense, to be honest. There is certain stuff that you have said. And is that why you're acting different than what your friends say, that you are very upset?
Yeah. Upset for what? Well, in what way?
I mean, I thought you and Cass were together, but if you've been together for 800 years, I owe you a massive apology.
Mhm. Closer to 6, but yes.
I am sorry. I thought it was just some human fling, not something that stood that test of time. So, who are you?
That is gonna have to stay. Well, that, if I tell you, is gonna have to stay between us. No level of coin should pry that knowledge from you.
How about mutual destruction? I will give you some information that would sincerely mean that I would be in jeopardy if I was to reveal this information.
Seems fair.
It would make you feel better. I can tell you're a man of a complicated person.
Mm-hmm.
So you first, and then you may ask a question, I guess.
You'll tell me your level of destructive thing after. My name is Eventine Alessadil.
Do I recognize the name, DM?
Make a history or religion check.
I need to get my intelligence up massively. Oh, dear.
Should have asked Vian for the history check.
Unfortunately, the influence of Arndir does not reach these corners too well.
I believe my ancestors left Armdia like thousands of years ago.
Yeah, you would have. Yeah, yeah. It's just no.
Yeah, yours probably left when the first cast was on the throne.
Oh yeah. Like Cass the First, definitely. It was probably 100 or 200 years after the Krieg when they all decided to go underground.
Yeah,
and then move, split.
Yeah, you're not a recent. It's not immigrant, is it? Yeah, because when
Expatriate?
yeah, you're not a recent it's emigrate is the word, but it's not like immigrant, is it? No. Yeah, you're like yeah, you're not a recent expat, so no.
That's it, because the way that I imagined it is my ancestors, they went into the Underdark at the beginning, so obviously to create your lore a little bit, and then my section kind of split off and went above ground.
Yep.
Eventually, we've been through many things. I'm sorry, I do not know that name.
Yeah. I had the title of Grand Master of the Order, and I was the chief military leader of the country of Armdia.
Okay.
Before I was betrayed and murdered.
I am sorry. I mean, it seems a little weird to say I'm sorry for something that happened to you and you carried on afterwards. But I'm sorry for everything else as well.
They're being murdered, they're being brought back as a human.
Well, that too.
Dropped into this sorry state of the world.
I just meant for me being a little harsh on you. I've seen what bad leadership can do, and it worries me sometimes. But it now makes more sense, and I am happy to back down. If you have been ruling a country for 800 years from the sounds of it, or at least a military organization, I'm sure you'll be able to lead those ones, the party to success.
I have been leading it. Though we had agreed originally when we started with this group, when we started traveling with this group, we weren't going to lead. It wasn't our job to lead this group. We were stay in the background and advise.
There are two types of people. There are leaders and followers, and I'm afraid all of those are followers. They are not leaders. They need leadership and direction. It is clear.
Yeah, that's what I've been figuring out.
So my thing, how much do you want to know? Do you want just basic notes or the whole deal?
Much information you can get that's gonna bring down an entire country or three to try and kill you, like it would me.
You know that I'm a mercenary, correct?
Uh-huh.
I have a very particular set of skills that I learned from being a guard back in my home, which was a fjord. Things started going down south, people started dying due to starvation and disease, blah, blah, blah. Went on an expedition, ended up nearly dying, made a deal that I was not aware of making, then started pillaging towns, murdering a bunch of people. I'm now trying to be good, I guess. I'm sorry.
You made a deal that you weren't aware of.
Oh, basically how's the best way of explaining it? I was dying from something. I was really, really cold to the point where I literally couldn't feel anything. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I was in so much pain, like unlike anything else I'd felt before. And then there was this weird woman, and she said that she would save me, and I don't actually remember responding, but I believe I gave my servitude to her, and then I woke up, and then she was like, I need for you to seduce and corrupt people, make your way into towns, cause chaos, and murder people. And I refused at first, but then after time I kept on being told I was a monster, so I became a monster. I will be a monster eventually, like this. And she kind of motions towards the flower crown. It is a witch's cross. It shows I have been mocked. Do you know what Hera stands for?
No, I've not come across it in my tongue.
I am the marked fool. I will eventually turn into my mistress's coven, like those hags, and then I will be lost, and I will be different. Unless I can stop it, which is why I kind of wanted to go talk to the other hag to see if she could stop it, because she was friends with Penelope, so I thought it might be okay. I don't want to be a monster anymore.
That's why you were asking for a remove curse the other day.
Yeah. I thought I was ready, but being with you all, I'm not ready. Through you and your friends, you have shown me compassion where others would show fear and judgment against me. You have shown friendship whereas I have never had friends for very. I was going to say before, but I have, but not for a very long time. I'm not ready to die or become a monster. One or the other.
And we will pick up this conversation, as well as the meal with the Grey residents, in 2 weeks. That was good. I liked it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Matt. I got you out of your backstory for a bit by giving up mine. I hope you're happy.
Thank you.
Yeah, we both went, oh, I think Greytail's had a full life in sheer anarchy. So.
But we will be picking this up. Let me check my calendar. The 11th of June. Yeah, that is correct. Will be the next session. So, I do hope people join. Then, next stream in general is actually tomorrow because Ben Giuseppe is running a horror one-shot. It is going to be wunderbar.
Hey, I'm streaming.
What's it about? Just as a general footnote to interest, what's it called?
Ben?
It's called The Last Lightning Rail, and it's a Eberron-based horror one-shot.
There you go.
Ooh.
The Last Lightning Rail. Horror-based Eberron one-shot. It's going to be a bit more heavy, RP heavy, because it's going to play like the Dark Pictures games that you've been seeing on the channel recently, which I do own the 3rd copy of, so we will have to discuss playing that at some point. But until then, I will see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate everyone that's come by. And I'm going to go and see what these guys all thought of everything tonight, so I will see you next time. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Good night.